you ready?
This is the D-Generation Clix podcast with your hosts,
Who is Ravage?
Ryan Ruckman,
Ravage.
Hand me that bottle cap.
Miles Kane,
Hand me that paperclip. Grab that twine. Gun wrapper.
Daniel Schwab,
Best friends.
Asgard to Mouth, and Pete.
'Cause I'm just me.
All right, and this weekend is our monthly championship for March. March is martial artist, and we've been doing different versions of like a meditate healing rule for the March martial artist over the last, I think, 2 years. But I was not a fan of it, and with the Bloodstone, it kind of kills it. So we're trying something a little bit different for the special rules, and it's kind of like a specialist theme, where at the beginning of the game, for each of your main force martial artist pieces, you choose if they are close combat or range combat specialist, and then the range combat specialist is going to get +1 attack when making range attacks and +1 defense when attacked by a range attack, and then the close combat specialist gets a +1 attack when making a close attack and a +1 defense when attacked by a close attack. So that's something I've wanted to try for a while, and it seems like martial artist is probably the best place where this one would fit. So we'll see how this one goes for continuing with it. Going into this month, though, Dan, you're the champion, right?
Yes, sir.
And what did you ban?
Ulysses Bloodstone.
Do you want to share with us if you plan on playing him, or did you just take him away from everybody else?
He's not on my team.
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting. That's a solid piece to have.
Yeah, that shocks me with Dan. That's like a Dan piece.
And then Oliver, he took second. So the equipment that he chose, since Dan chose a figure, is the universal weapon. So both he and Dan can play the universal weapon. But we'll be streaming all day Saturday. Last month, the internet went out around us at the end of the game. So hopefully we don't have any issues again. But stop into the live stream on Saturday if you have time. All right, that's going to bring us to the listener questions.
Your ass better call somebody!
First, we have Wes Robertson. What are your thoughts on the correlation with the 12 boosters? It doesn't seem like we are getting anything more from them. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I've seen some really banger bricks, so I don't know. Like the one you pulled at Champion Clicks for your win, like it had literally everything. So I don't
Collector's Trove,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I've seen now that Spider-Verse is out, and championships, at Championship Clicks, they said this, but out of at least 120 bricks, every single brick had a chase. So if that's what it took to accomplish that, then I think that's the best thing out of it.
I mean, as far as like buying product and opening it, I would agree. Like what I got correlates, like you got a chase and a prime, at least one prime in both bricks. So I was really happy with that. But in sealed, it just gives me any more times to pull that good old CUR team that I'm famous for.
It doesn't really help anything, but it does help you get curs. I liked it, especially with Spider-Verse, because we have so many goons, and I love just collecting all the goons. So like that was there. I think it also it doesn't. What they're not realizing too is that it's great for BRs. So instead of having the 10 boosters,
Yeah, that's
you don't have to break into another brick to do another battle royal. So this way it's 4, and I think that's probably one of the main reasons why, more so than the getting more for your money. It just makes it so much easier when it comes in a brick and you're doing battle royals. You only need to open up and you have 4 games ready. You don't have to pop open 2 bricks.
If they're going to keep it where you can get like as good as these CURs have been, because this one's good too, right?
Yeah.
So if that's going to be
the
theme, then I'm perfectly fine with it, opening a case and getting basically the whole CUR.
All right, second question. As of posting this question, Ryan is on track to become the most popular guest on Talkin' Clicks. Thank you for joining the show, and I hope to talk with the rest of the D-Generation team soon. My interview with Lucas Tom Van Hollen was posted 2 weeks ago and peaked at 63 views. Ryan's episode has 43 views in 24 hours. Will Ryan surpass Lucas in popularity? Well, currently it's 52, Wes, but who's counting? And Lucas sucks, so I don't know what else to tell you. No, I'm just kidding. Lucas is awesome. We always look forward to seeing Lucas at all the events.
Oh yeah, Lucas is awesome.
This will be the most I've seen Lucas in quite a while because I just saw him at Camping Clicks, and then he'll be here next week. So
Yeah, he's
as a fellow two middle namer, yeah, I love Lucas just because I understand how crappy it is to have two middle names.
it's a weird.
And
place
I
to
might
bond.
start just going by my four names. So,
Do you want to
does it work?
share that, or do you want people to guess what they are?
oh, they won't. No, it's Miles Ernest Carby Kane, and
That's
That's
terrible.
gonna be it. I'm gonna now change. It's
I don't know. I think I might have
horrendous.
you. I might have you beat, even with just 3 names.
Carby.
Yeah, mine's pretty bad too.
Cotton.
All right, what is it? Let's hear it.
It's Bernard.
Oh, that's pretty bad
Bennett?
too.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. So old
It's
man.
some
name.
steam, Bennett.
Yes.
It's good.
Wait,
Just say that
what?
your parents were a huge Commando fan, and they named you after the bad guy that Arnold killed with the steam. He's lit up some steam, Bennett. It's perfect.
I was hoping you were
Daniel
going to say Cotton, and it was Daniel Cotton Schwab.
Oh my god.
That would have been. That would have been. Yeah, that would have
Dude,
been.
this is information I needed a long time ago. Daniel Bennett Schwab will now become a thing.
No, it's Bernard. It's not. It's not.
Oh, well, we'll call you Bennett anyway.
Yeah, I heard Bennett, so that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Bernard?
Yes.
Well, Daniel Bernard Schwab works too.
Pretty old. It's like
That's
That's
like
a
a
cool
Supreme
character.
Court. That's a Supreme Court justice. Daniel Bernard Schwab.
Just call him Bernard.
oh god, please don't extend the back
Bernie?
end of the name. It's so terrible.
Bernie Schwab.
Oh no.
He's got Bernards. That's a throwback to Monster Squad.
I did watch the Talking Clicks with you, Revin. You did a great job.
Yeah, it was good.
Wes did too, actually. I
it
really enjoyed it. I've caught a couple of the other ones, but I think yours was actually, I hate to give you a compliment at all, but really good.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it went for like an hour and a half. It went by pretty quick though. It was fun.
Yeah.
You had really good energy the whole time. It was cool.
I'm almost thinking that Wes should just stop playing clicks and just stick to talking clicks. I think that is where his calling is.
He didn't make that
Isn't that
decision
where-
already.
Yeah,
I think
Exactly.
so. Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, he's killing it.
The Silver Saviors was good too. He got a 2-parter, yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty
Yeah.
solid.
But yeah, if you have not checked out Wes's interviews yet, his YouTube channel is Talkin' Clicks. It's TLAKN Clicks. So go check that out. All right, number 3 from Wes. I want to attend Origins in June, but only thing holding me back is that my wife and I share a car, and she can't be without wheels for 4 days. Is anyone in the community willing to help me out with transportation to Origins and back? I live in Lafayette, Indiana. If anyone's able to help with that drive, reach out to Wes Robertson. And then number 4, he wants to know if any of us are worthy of wielding Thor. Or sorry, Mjolnir.
Well, I mean, it depends what kind of mood Thor's in.
I'll wield Thor right away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody get Russ a ride. This is a great community. We're a full-service podcast, Wes. We got you. Who's worthy of wielding Mjolnir? Well, Dan is. Miles
Yeah, I
is.
can't.
Oh,
I'm
you
not.
are.
No.
Oh, come
No,
on.
I'm gonna tell you exactly why. Because you need 5 things: you need compassion, restraint, nobility, wisdom, and humility. I have compassion, I have nobility, I have wisdom, and as well as I have humility. What I don't have is I don't have restraint. And the editing of this podcast is very much proof of that. So yeah, my lack of restraint stops me from being worthy of holding Mjolnir.
I lose out on wisdom. That's my downfall.
I'll pick it up.
I mean, you'll be like Captain America in the movie. You'll be like, it'll move, and he'll be like, wait, what?
Yeah. It'll surprise everyone a little bit, but deep down, everybody kind of knew already.
I'm happy to lend.
We don't
I'm happy
need
to
you
lend it
with a
to you.
magical hammer.
A second
shouldn't be a
magical
thing.
hammer.
Ooh,
Man, all right.
sexy clicks.
And here's your fun Miles Kane fact about Mjolnir. It's also the name of the Spartan armor in Halo.
Pretty cool.
See, I don't play Halo, so that's a great. Yeah, that's a fun fact.
That was good.
I hate Halo.
Oh, come on.
No, I have it. So when I was working at fast food restaurants, working graveyard, and it was the midnight release, and I had idiots drive by, be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'll take a burrito. Oh, and then I'll take the pre-order of Halo 3. Oh, never mind, I already got it." Had like 10 or 15 straight cars. So I'm like, you know what? I hate Halo. This is dumb.
I did not own an Xbox. That's why I did not play Halo.
I have played Halo, and I played it with Redman. And Redman played with another one of our buddies, and they were ridiculous. Like, they'd tell you what was popping up and how much time was left. So they had, like, their own language between each other. All I tried to do was stay back and throw grenades. And Redman can, or in shotgun people, Redman can corroborate this.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Number 5. Has anyone noticed that Miles always has obscure facts about everything right at the moment without even having time to Google it? I think everyone has noticed that, right?
Yeah, Miles is like the trivia knowledge for some reason. Like it flows out of him, and I'm like I can't keep up.
Yeah, I retain information. Yeah, when I was a kid, like literally, like there was nothing to do where I lived out in the middle of nowhere except for literally read my dad's 26-volume leather-bound Encyclopedia Britannicas. Like it's seriously so. So I've always strived for knowledge, and so yeah, I'm able to retain useless information. Everything else, not really. You know, I'm very forgetful unless it's useless.
It's a good skill.
This makes perfect sense because I also read the Encyclopedia Britannicas growing up. Like, you just started with the letter and you read through it. It was awesome.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds
No,
absolutely
different.
it's
terrible.
amazing. No, it was amazing.
Why would you do that? He makes odd team combinations that no other human would ever think of. Is Miles an android? Multiple intelligence learning exquisite system. And kind of like S.H.I.E.L.D., it's just like somebody wanted to make that work.
Well, all I gotta do is really watch Big Bang Theory, and it is true that if you ask someone if they're an android, they can't tell you they're an android.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
All right.
This would make a lot of sense.
Number 6 from Westpool. If you were a Transformer, what would you be? An Autobot or a Decepticon? And what would you transform into? Miles, you want to go first?
It's Decepticon. Like it's like that easy. And what I would transform into, I'm a huge animal fan, so it'd have to be, the Predacons for
Nice.
sure.
There you go. I was going to call you on that once you said animals, but you got it.
Of course. Come on, I'm full of useless facts, obscure facts.
But that's not useless.
And then I know it's not useless. The white said obscure. I fixed it.
Okay.
An alligator snapping turtle.
That's good.
Yeah, that's what I go with.
Dan?
The good version of the flip from Predacons, the Maximals.
Mm-hmm.
It'd probably be like, what was his name? Depth Charge, I think. The Manta Ray. That was
Yep.
pretty cool. I think when the first time I watched it, like when he appeared, I thought he was evil, and I'm like, oh no, he's actually cool. I was like, oh.
That was a good episode. That was the beginning of the 3rd season. Pete, do you have an answer?
I'd have to be an Autobot, but I would be a giant garbage truck that just threw things. Like flaming dumpsters.
Well, I'd say Decepticon, but I can't tell you what I would be, Wes, because that defeats the purpose of being a Transformer in the first place.
It'd be a toaster.
That's true.
He'd be a toaster.
Be a toaster.
Yeah.
A toaster that jumps in your
You know
bathtub.
that No, it's probably more like, probably, I don't know, a bench set, maybe? It's got to be something from the gym. Treadmill. No.
It's definitely not a treadmill.
Yeah, you're all about you don't care about cardio. It's all about bulk, powerlifting.
Yeah, the only
So,
thing
yeah.
that dude does with the treadmill is lift it, move it to
Yeah.
another part of the gym, and put it down.
And then go. Who needs cardio?
It's a Smith machine that turns into a guillotine.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually, pretty good.
Then we got another one from Westpool. Ryan already answered this on Talking Clicks. To the rest of you, do you prefer stabby stab weapons or pew pew weapons?
I also think this is a very cut and dry answer because see, the answer to this actually tells you what kind of person you are. And if I'm gonna go for the kill, I want it to be stabby stab because I want you to see me coming and just them the last thing you see before it ends.
Yeah, it's always good when someone sees you coming.
Yeah, I'm good. Stabby stab.
It means more.
Okay. Yeah, it's stabby stab. Okay, there's multiple ways to stab, and it's all of them.
Yeah, stabby stab. See them coming. It's the best way.
Yep.
Just a lot.
It's like the chosen
pelvic,
one.
Just a lot of pelvic thrusts is coming from Miles.
Oh. Yeah. I got a body of knives. I actually have 21 knives. Yeah.
Attached to your body?
Fingers and toes. Yeah, fingers and toes, and then that's 20 of them.
This is going downhill real fast today. Dan, what do you got?
I'm more partial to swords, so I'm just gonna cut you in half real fast.
So stabby
stabby
stab,
stab.
so they can see you coming.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Pete, do you like it when they see you coming, or are you more of a shooter guy?
I just like to. If I don't care if somebody sees me coming, but no, I'd be a shooter. I would be a shooter. I would do the pew pews.
Just because it's easier?
So you'd be a shooter that they see coming, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I find myself siding with Cable. The only thing better in a gun's a bigger gun that you can't actually wield in real life. And pouches. So many pouches.
So many pouches.
Yeah, I side more with Logan. Let me chop you up.
All right, question number 8. I don't think I'm alone in looking at the members of this show and other content creators as celebrities. Do you see yourselves as popular and influential as celebrities? I think that's quite a stretch. So not at all. This is just kind of fun for us.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
I don't.
It's a great compliment, Wes. I don't think of myself in that at all. I like the platform that we get, and I like the fun and talking to these guys. But celebrity, no. I think if anything, I kind of wonder sometimes why people listen to us because we're kind of just a big bunch of idiots most of the time.
I'm definitely
Yeah, no.
I fit that mold. So yeah.
Actually, you're probably the one that probably has the Hollywood looks. It's got to be you. You're the celebrity.
I'd rather be known for being a good judge and a good event runner than being a celebrity. That's just not my thing. I don't like being the center of attention.
Celebrity judge.
Dan is a transformer, just turns into like a nice hair dryer. Like a really fancy one.
As you only see in hotels. You're like, whoa, where'd they get this from?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Joseph Harrison, 2025 Champion Clicks Open champion. For those of us not able to attend Adepticon and who are looking for towards Rock Cup as the next big event, what are the top 2 or 3 projections of what may be changed before then? They can be either the most logical predictions or the ones that we want to see the most. Oh, this is for Silver Age he's talking about. So he says, mine are the Darkseid errata to make his unavoidable damage once per action, still strong but not broken. Ban main force Juice and Silver. There's just no way he will not be oppressive, right? I really don't want an Amos 2 moment at Rock Cup again. And then make Saturnine either unique or restricted. I would prefer unique if that's possible because she will literally never see play again as a restricted in my opinion. I do think that she's an issue in multiples, but I'll go further and say fixes a lot. I really want to see Silver just be Highlander. Because another big one for me is the Grand Prize Apocalypse, and so a lot of things gets fixed if they just make it Highlander, and I think a lot of other people put that too in our poll. That's really what they'd like to see also. So
I mean, because then you don't have to like restrict as much. Because like if you can only play one card in Silver Surfer, I mean, he's still great, but he's not nearly as deadly when you pair two of them up, or maggot spam, or anything where you run them in multiples and they're disgusting.
Yeah. And
Yeah, no, and Juice just needs banned. Keaton needs banned. That's period. Yeah, it's.
when you have 400 points
we-
and you can main force him, it's incredibly oppressive, especially with silver, because there's so much. You can tell in the wording in a lot of the new cards, they're starting to go away from some free actions. So maybe in the future he won't be as oppressive like in a year or two. But when you go back to silver, there's so many things that are just free this, free that he just shuts down entire teams, and it's too much.
Or they're the old at no cost, so they change to free. So and yeah, there's so much that.
Yeah,
affects.
so he's not great in silver. And the dark side errata that I thought would have been good was if he goes or he only deals the unavoidable damage if he goes through opposing barrier.
Yeah.
And
Make it a punishment, not a offensive tool where you can just disco dance through a wall and nuke a team.
yeah, that part's dumb, is making it an offensive tactic. So, but I agree with him that these are like probably like some of like the top 3 issues. Do you guys have any other to add to that?
No, Highlander I've been screaming for a while, and Aaron's always been apprehensive about it. But I'm like, that literally fixes 99% of the problems.
Yeah,
Is Highlander.
yeah,
You're always still gonna have outliers. Yeah.
And he can still flesh out or like carve out places for figures that do generate other like forms of themselves.
Oh yeah. There's always
Oh, it's really clear what ones should be played in multiples.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
Yeah. Pete, do you have any suggestions? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I played, and the thing, what's funny about these 3 suggestions is I played every bad version of these teams during the 2 silver events that we went to, in our state event and in Illinois, and I can tell you that none of it was what I would term fun. So I definitely think Juice needs to not be allowed to be main forced. He just he just takes silver and just makes it like half of the equipment's not usable.
not
Half
only
of
that,
the things you do, you can't do.
exactly. Yeah, like for if he's with him affecting like core parts of the game where I can't charge or running shot and blow up a wall, like that's incredibly oppressive with how much barrier tech or just like the larger maps and like what you can do to corral people on those maps. So
And
I think Darkseid.
and that's one thing that would actually fix him right there in modern too. Like they're talking about an errata for Juice, is that make him like like Zod or whatever, where he goes to the sideline or whatever. There you go.
And Darkseid, like he was easily addressed. Like the community kind of addressed him. Like you just need one big piece of terrain to make your team safe, but it changes the way that you're approaching it. And Saturnine was never designed to be stackable. I'm sorry. I love Saturnine. I adore her. She's one of my favorite pieces. I play Saturnine anytime I can play it. It's coming in Mystical probably this year because that's where I start.
Oh,
because
she's fine when you just play one.
yeah, when
It's
you
just
just play one, it's totally fine.
And one of them's great. You still get TK. You still get the effect of the dice roll +1 or -1 once per turn. But dude, 2 or 3 of her, come on. Yeah.
And he specifically does mention just main force Beetlejuice, but realistically, again, 400 points. There's so many other ways to put a piece on that takes damage differently. Like Dan found out in Florida with Loki, or was it Loki
No,
or
it's not
Kevin?
Loki.
Kevin, you found out with
Kevin.
yeah,
Okay,
where
yeah.
where you can just ping him instead with the damage, and really nothing happens. So there's so many bystander generators and things like that you can get on your team, and basically just have no real repercussions for coming off the main force.
No, and that's like that was the thing with had I known about it, I probably would have handled it differently. But I just was completely unaware. I was like, oh, that's a thing.
I think when it comes to Keaton specifically, like and Silver specifically, is like that's if you want to see the format take a big hit, allow him main force. Because he's only a quarter of your build in Silver. And he just turns the game completely sideways.
Yeah, you have to do things so much differently when he's on the board.
I don't think that he got talked enough at the end because he was only legal for the last like week or two of states, so I don't think he made enough of a splash.
Yeah.
He did add a disclaimer: no hate or anything is ever meant towards Aaron Morgan or his decision making. I love what he's done and is doing with Silver Age, and I want to see it continue to thrive. I'm sure he is currently busting his butt on a lot of this prep anyways, and congrats on the 1 year, fellas. You make my long work days and drives a lot easier. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with vocalizing your thoughts the way that he's doing it. The more that people do that, the better Silver can really become. There's a difference. There's a difference between being negative and constructive criticism.
Yeah, this is just really good constructive criticism. He wasn't rude or negative in any form or fashion. He was just like, "Hey, these are problems. Is there a way we can address them?" And I don't see any problem with that.
And obviously, Aaron's, part of our podcast occasionally, and we always love to have him on. There's not a guy that cares more about the format than he does.
No.
There's not a guy that wants to make a format better than he does. There's not a guy that puts in the amount of work that he does. And so I can't speak for Aaron in this, but I don't think this is a negative feedback at all. I think it's feedback that is constructive to keeping a format that clearly he likes, the question asker, Joseph Harrison, likes too, and just make it better. Like, it's great. I love Silver. I'm looking forward to Adepticon, but I'm happy to shift into Silver right after that.
Yeah,
Silver's a lot of fun.
And I guarantee you, Aaron likes to hear this stuff
Mm-hmm.
to get the feedback. But yeah,
Dude, Aaron's one of the most approachable guys. Like, you have a thought, message him.
Yeah, absolutely. But thank you. We're glad that we can join you on your work days and your drives. And then the second question is, any thoughts on why me and Rob Olger were right when we never stopped believing Ghost Rider is the best piece in the game? Should we be seriously considering double Ghost Rider Kevin Tech? One with Ruby and Shatari Pog, and one with the Crimson Gem sounds like a good starting point for my next modern event. Only sort of kidding. Ghost Rider, I think, honestly, just been criminally underplayed since he came out. He was a threat way back then, too.
I feel like he ebbs and flows. Like
No, yeah, that's why he was on my list of what to be prepared for.
Yeah,
Because
that was the same with me.
He's a
It was
Death
like-
Metal Wonder Woman.
Exactly. It was like, well, I just had to learn how to kill Ghost Rider quickly because it's like he's really good, and that was I just think he ebbs and flows. Like, he'll see an uptick and then he'll kind of downshift, like especially with new stuff coming out, right? And then he'll people come back around to him because he's just so consistent.
But he just came in first and second, so after his showing at Champion Clix, like, you'd expect you're gonna see him a lot more for a little bit, starting with Adepticon.
Yeah.
But as far as
double, though, I'm not sure it's good because that means that Major Logan's gonna really, really hurt that.
Yeah.
But then
And
what
you
is
don't
it like?
want,
Two Ghost Riders is 140, and then the
Yep.
team that he's mentioning with the Chitari Pog and the Ruby,
That'd
that
be
would be
180.
15 each. So yeah, 180, and then 40
No,
for Kevin.
25,
That's 220.
50 from Kevin because
It's 40 for Shatari and Ruby.
Oh, okay. Oh, and the Crimson Gem is 10,
Mhm.
and then 40 for
Yeah.
Kevin. So it's like 220. So you only have
Is that
80
what
more
you-
points.
Would you not put Tower Red on Kevin? 'Cause I feel like most of the people that played Kevin put Tower Red on
Yeah.
him. So that's the
You
points
would,
there.
but
You
if
put
you're
Tower
already
Red on.
building that, now you're going to be at 70 points. I feel like that's something. It's like that's normally what I would do, but
Yeah.
then you're at 70 points left, and all you have so far is two Ghost Riders at Chitari Pog and Kevin, and I'm not sure that that's great. It's not as easy to deploy Ghost Rider. He's just doing his hypersonic.
I think what it's showing too is that just having Kevin on your team with or without Ghost Rider, too, because you can just have him re-roll those rolls. I think is very important.
Yeah.
Dude, Kevin's something. Like, there's a lot of pieces that aren't getting played that answer Kevin a little bit of any DC character, right? But Kevin is huge in a lot of.
There is one figure, and I hope to see him. I hope to see him that answers Kevin because you can get him double token quick and have him taken off the map for a turn. The jokester.
What's the interaction there?
Prob.
Whenever you would someone would re-roll or replace a die, give them an action token, and if you can't, you do one pin. So like if you use Kevin to like heal and then you try and re-roll, now it's gonna be the two tokens, and then you're gonna try and re-roll again. So it's gonna stop him from wanting to re-roll, or else he's gonna go off the map because then he's not gonna be able to re-roll like your rolls.
Yeah, it's kind of good. I don't know if you're playing Jokester to do that because that's kind
2 turns.
of
No, I
yeah.
it's just something there, that the jokester is. I mean, he's able to perplex up 3 times, but obviously you got to deal with something. But no, I'm not saying that it's gonna work. Just like when the Gauntlet Spidey stuff, I'm saying I'm just saying that you can. It's something you can do, but it's actually it's not too bad of a strategy.
I think
Like,
Ghost Rider's always been phenomenal. He's always done something that's just completely unique. And that one trait is unbelievable for 70 points. And at 70 points, he's a nice point value.
yeah.
Like, he is difficult to deploy, for sure. But he still gives you so much utility with the ability of the pilots in that. So he's kind of like one of those pieces that he plays different for everybody's team because you can do different things every game.
And I guess he actually took a little bit of a dive because of Blackheart's nerf. And you can't move him with the time breakers. So
Yeah.
I think that's when he actually dipped, was about then.
Yeah.
You can get him over there with Diana now.
Yeah. All right. Next we have Anthony Barnstable. First question: what questions do you have leading up to Adepticon? I think one of my big ones is, can we expect prizing for Adepticon to be closer to what we will be seeing going forward? Because it's probably the best prized official WizKids event I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's my number one. Do you guys have anything else?
I mean, existential questions or just about HeroClix?
What
I-
questions do you have leading up to Adepticon? You can
Like,
decipher
why
that.
are we here?
Sure.
Okay.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Yeah, I don't have any questions right now. I think that he has the thread that was answered pretty well.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
think my
say.
one-
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
My one is just the pacing of an event. I think like Champion Clicks did a really good job of like, hey, let's start early so we're not here till 10 o'clock unless we want to be. And I hope that that's the same thing with Adepticon. I don't remember the times of like the start times for all the events, but
He did throw up a thread about questions that you have. He'll answer them going into it. So if you have questions about your team or how other things that you might come up against are going to function, definitely open that up and throw something in there, because he's responding in that really quick, and that's super helpful. Do you know what page it's on? It had to have been like in the rules chat or something.
oh yeah, well he posted it there and he posted it in the silver chat too. So I don't know. I think that's where I saw it. I don't remember where else it is.
Anthony, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Not
That's
helpful.
my question. No, but just going back to like the scheduling thing that Dan talked about, I think it's really big for WizKids to be aware of like when people are traveling to places to provide time to actually also enjoy the place.
Yeah.
Like Milwaukee's a fun city. So people that are coming in for Adepticon, there's a lot of cool things to do in Milwaukee.
So he has a thread up on HeroClix rules, and it just says Adepticon is approaching. Does anyone in here have any rules questions you want answered for the convention? Any other questions about the convention or events? So it's already up to 72 comments. So if you have anything that you want to know, that's definitely the place to go right now.
Hold on, I gotta find it because I'm gonna ask him if a hot dog's a sandwich.
All right, his second one is, what changes compared to last year at Adepticon do you hope are implemented to improve the enjoyment of the events? I think the big thing for me was how BRs are ran and the limit of them, and there was space to run them, but they didn't have spots in the computer, and then they ran out of product as well. So I'd just like to be able to know that I can play more of them if we're there, because it's hard to buy spots when you're planning on doing well in modern, and you could have done 4 more on Sunday if you don't make cut. But if you're hoping to make cut, you don't want to pre-order those. What's that?
Worlds had the same problem where you have to pretty much pre-order the stuff
Yeah.
a little bit towards the end. Yeah,
So yeah, I
you
think
have to
that was,
sign up for it and everything.
yeah, that was my only real thing. Did you guys have anything else at Adepticon? Adepticon really was, for the first time going to that event, it was pretty smooth.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, I wasn't there
it was
last
only
year.
a little tight on like spacing for modern. I
Mhm.
think that was the only thing. Was it was a little. That was the only minor gripe. Otherwise, it was totally fine.
Yeah, you needed one less person on the table, one less game on the table in order to give everybody space. Because modern is, you're just bringing so much stuff to play modern and get
Uh-huh.
set up, and that was kind of something they ran into at Worlds too, where it was just like you were basically shoulder to shoulder with the people next to you. And I will say also that the scheduling of BRs and that it just needs to be a little more fluid, especially with most of us are just signing up on our phones and stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that they should absolutely look at. My 2 cents from Adepticon last year is I think they weren't prepared for the turnout they got.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this year they're a little more ready for it.
Well, all the
Which is
events,
good.
they had to open up more spots like 2 or 3 times, I think, for every single event because they kept
Yeah.
selling out. But going back to the space on each table, I think Adepticon you could still play big maps, right? Last year,
Uh,
I'm almost
maybe.
positive because they made
Yeah, I
that
think it's
change. I think leading into
summer.
Gen Con Nationals, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you could play on big maps.
I just remember at one point I was sitting next to Kenny and basically Kenny and I's stuff was just sitting on top of each other's.
Yeah,
And it just was like, and everybody's trying to be polite, so like you just gotta have more room. I mean, Adepticon is unbelievable. Like as an event, I was completely overwhelmed walking into it because it was kind of like Ollie's first big event, right, or second big event.
no, that was
Because we were
that was
walking in.
his first time. He's never been to anything like that before. He was
Yeah,
super overwhelmed at first when he walked in.
you said, "I hope Ollie's gonna do okay," because this, like, I feel like he's gonna be overwhelmed. I'm like, man, I'm overwhelmed. Like this is crazy to me how much stuff is there.
Well, that was before
So
you went to Worlds, even, right?
yeah, and Adepticon is something that's completely like because it's not just HeroClix. Like Worlds is HeroClix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like all kinds of cool, fun stuff. So, um, yeah, I'm anxious to see how they have refreshments and stuff set up. I will say that's one thing they did really well at Adepticon. I don't know that that has much to do with WizKids. I think the runners, the people that organize Adepticon, are pretty good about that stuff because it was not hard to get refreshments in that, which was nice, or find bathrooms, which is
I feel like
huge.
that's really important is to make sure you stay like hydrated and stuff during the event, like 'cause
Yeah.
you're going all day.
I do want to say though, going back to space, this was an issue at Worlds where now everyone has to play small maps, but then they just jam more people on the table, and you had just as much room as you did when there were big maps. So yeah, what Pete was saying, making sure that there's enough room at each table is pretty important. Everybody has those Craftworks Forge boxes or trays, and they want to be able to put them down. You know, their sidelines, things like that. Everybody should have the same amount of room. All right, number 3. What are you hoping for as the ideal 2025 con or big event schedule for the remainder of the year? My big thing is World's dates announced soon. I think that they were announced by this time last year, weren't they?
I don't remember.
I agree with that completely. I don't honestly understand how Worlds isn't announced year over year. Like next year's Worlds is announced at this year's Worlds.
Yeah, that's
Like
ideal.
if you do that, then you're setting up to just have a better turnout. And if they're going to continue the relationship with Graceland in that, it's a nice central location. It's a drive for us, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible to get into as far as like an airport either.
No, that was the
So
one nice thing was like the flight in on Thursday night for Worlds when I came down was it was a nice easy flight. I was there in a couple hours, so it wasn't too bad.
But as far as like anything else on the schedule, Origins, they just announced that, so that should be a good time. And then Worlds, I'm assuming is in September again. So I don't know
Yeah,
how many other.
it's more like are they going to announce Gen Con, I think, is the other thing. That's the other big thing on their schedule usually.
But they also announced that Nationals is now moving back to Origins. So are they even going to be at Gen Con?
Oh yeah, they might even not be there. That's fair. Yep.
I mean, I don't know all the behind the scenes stuff that goes into this, but generally speaking, like the farther out you announce something, the better out you will be. I mean, just personally speaking, like scheduling something a month or 2 months in advance is a lot more prohibitive than say
Yep.
3 or farther.
I agree. At least a quarter ahead at least is good. I would prefer almost like 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, even like Rock Cup, we have the dates for Rock Cup, but what are the events?
Yeah.
So not much info. And then his last one is, how did you get to where you are as a podcast and team from where you began when it was first starting? What would you do to encourage others to do in order to start a team or podcast or build and grow it like you have? What are your plans and goals as a team or podcast for 2025 or further into the future? I think a big thing is that we kind of waited until we were ready to launch. There was a lot of planning that went into it, and we did not start until we were ready to go. So there was no like starting and stopping or anything like that. And or at least I wanted to do weekly episodes. I don't know if you guys wanted to do weekly episodes.
I mean, I was
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
Okay.
What, 7 months? Did that
we're
sound
at
right?
the-
7 months before we released the first episode?
I think so.
planning?
Yeah, there's a lot of planning. I wanted to get like a new PC. There's a lot of things that went into it, and we were working on like graphics and everything.
Mm-hmm. And I think
Go ahead, Dan.
no. After you, Pete.
No, I'm just gonna make a dumb joke. Go ahead.
Like at least from my experience, like I was already doing like somewhat semi-regular like recordings, so like I didn't really have a problem like stepping into this, and it like our group is a ton of fun, and I like really enjoyed like the banter, so it was really easy for me to just be like, yeah, I can do this once a week. And Redman's really good about like scheduling things out and trying to like plan things, and that's super nice for me because then I can plug it into my calendar and go, okay, this is the day I'm doing it. Like, where does this fit into my schedule? Like, what do I have to move? If I got to move something, like stuff like that. So that's a big thing for me. It's just like the consistency with something like that. Because if you're gonna do it, like, you gotta stay on top of it. You can't just be like, hey, you want to record tonight? And that is by no means like a shot at anyone. So I was just like, that would be tough for me to want to like do that like on the spot.
Redmans has us basically doing daily podcasts at this point.
It's not true.
Yeah. No.
This week it totally is.
To be frank, though, I didn't have much to do with the building or any of this. I kind of just was allowed to be on and provide nothing of value, which I appreciate.
You're the producer, so stop being so humble. You had more to do with this than everyone. You're the producer.
It's a lot of planning, and honestly, a lot of this falls on the other guys that do stuff, and it's a lot of preparation. Like, we know Redmond's, I don't know if you guys know Redmond, but he's a little type A, and so there's lists on top of lists. So like, we know going into stuff, and I'll still not read any of it and just show up for the podcast, but that's a lot of that, how the podcast goes. And as far as building like a group, I don't know, just find people that you like to play the game and like to have fun. And I think we take it seriously at the right times, but I don't think we ever take it overly serious. You know, it's just at some point it's still just a game. Like, we like to play it, and more importantly, I think we just like to hang out, and this just gives us something to talk about in addition to that.
That's why the monthly is the thing I look forward to the most, because like, yeah, we get to play cliX all day, but like it's also just like us hanging out and shooting the breeze all day. It's just...
Yeah, and in 2025, Redmond will get us to buy daily podcasts.
I will say, yes, it does take a lot of time to do. So you have to be ready to put that time into it and make that commitment. So if it's just something you think you might want to do or whatever, it takes a lot of time, and not only overall, but to even like start getting into the groove of everything. So especially in the beginning, you really got to sink a lot of time into making sure that you're learning how to do everything and getting it out there. Cause it was a lot to push it in the beginning too. Cause we started from literally nothing, Yeah.
One of the other things too is listen to the other people in your group. Like, some of the ideas for like the listeners' questions and the drops has just evolved over us just talking to each other about things that we like and things that we don't. And not every idea makes the podcast. Some of them have been really bad, mostly mine. But the one really great one was the Bookwood Report was amazing.
I mean, I
I'm not gonna let you take
I almost vetoed that right out of here, and it turns out it was listener segment of the year, and I said it was trash.
I think you kept it because of how much of a banger that theme song was.
Yeah, that helped a lot actually. But
So that definitely would sell it for sure.
Pete wanted to run with something, so I was like, sure. And then Miles made the drop, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. Because it had a whole song. The first time we did it,
Yep.
it had a whole song.
Now it's just the one clip.
Yeah, it was a good
So good.
35-second song. It was great too. And to be fair, like you got to find people that like Bookwood who just has a good sense of humor about himself, and us poking fun at him.
And
Oh,
he
yeah.
knows, and he
Yeah.
knows it's not like we're not being vicious. Like we do that out of because we like the guy. It's all in good fun.
Oh, I probably talk to him every day.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I'm sorry. But you also have to prepare for things like Recyclops, Shroot, and other people that ask questions. I'm not going to name any names past Recyclops. Is he in this question thing?
I don't think so.
Maybe not. I thought so. We'll find
Oh,
out.
man.
Yay.
Yeah.
I would actually like to see more playgroups though become teams and travel to events together, get shirts, things like that. I think that's really cool.
Dude, one of the most fun parts is just whatever Miles or I or something that starts as and becomes a shirt, or Teresa making us like graphics and stuff. Like there's some of them that have only sold one copy, but they're hilariously fun to wear to events and stuff. Like the picture of Dan on the t-shirt. That's getting worn at Adepticon. It's just too good.
Yeah.
And what about just as far as like plans or goals for the team or podcast into the future, 2025 or further into the future?
I'm gonna try to stop sucking.
Yeah, no, it's tough. Like I think we've exceeded our goals 100% from where we started. I think as a team.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
when you keep pushing. It's like, oh well, you've leaped further than you thought. So I guess
I'm
it's like,
hoping the click gods, allow us to, as a team, to win an event. Instead of just getting the cut.
You need me to sacrifice a goat? I got you.
Yeah, go
wanna
ahead and
s-
sacrifice 2.
I want to see more
yes.
of us starting to make cuts at the big events.
I was so close this last time
Mhm.
at Champion Clicks. I was like, I could taste it for a second there.
But as far as the podcast, I think the rest of it's really just going to come with time. I don't know how much more we can do with that. I think it's been fun to start to branch out into YouTube a little bit more, and that's something that I never thought that I would do. So when we started,
Yeah, that's
when we started this, I thought that this was going to be the extent of me throwing myself out there, but all of a sudden we're doing YouTube videos, I guess. So
The big thing that I would like to do that I did at Champion Clicks was because our teammates Dalton and Looper had the bye for the first round, and they wanted a practice game, and so I said, well, let me watch, and I'll like work you up as far as like what is it called, like just like I'll point things out of like, hey, did you see this, basically after the fact, and just kind of like little like I like
coach them after.
yes, and they
each
were
turn
like
or each
they
action.
were like really receptive to it just because they're like, well, I never thought of that, like it just didn't click. So like having that in like the background of like, oh, I could have done that would have been amazing. Like the easy example is Looper was playing the Legacy Cap and he just dropped the Pogs turn 1, and I was like, why don't you wait, like you can drop them at any time, then like when you're up there already, then they have 4 more figures to deal with, and yeah, they're only 1 click, but then they're not focused on your backline. So
And that's good too, like just having somebody else put eyes on your team.
yeah,
And as you're playing, because a lot of times, like if I'm playing, I'm kind of hyper focused on what I'm trying to accomplish, and so I'm missing other things. So I think that's a great advice. Just to take a little bit of a victory lap, I want to really give compliments to everybody else on the podcast and seeing what has grown out of it. Like there's an interview show with Tide to Tide. There's the Redman family doing unboxings and gameplay. The monthly game has exploded. I mean, having an interview on the way in and the way out is hilariously fun. Like and Redman's like you guys really should really do a behind the scenes, Redman, and show like all the stuff that you do to get ready for it. Like there's like a lighting system and like 2 cameras, and it's impressive.
the team
It's an
videos
impressive.
before all that with the turntable in the background.
Yeah, because he does not hobby easy. That man hobby's hard, and it's the production values are just unbelievable. And I never thought I would be a part of any of that. Even just the audio drops and the intro and outro and how that stuff has changed over time. And why do we do it? Mostly because we're entertaining ourselves. But it's really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, like the big like the thing too I noticed is like as a group, like I think we've all gotten like a lot better as a player. Like I'll like use like Harris and Looper as examples. Like Harris was already like a good player, but to see his like evolution over the past, I'd say like 2 years when we started playing the monthly game and then like started going to events together and stuff, or just started like competing, like oh my god, the growth was bonkers. And same with Looper, like he's even newer and just like the level of plays he pulls off now. I know he will say, "Oh, I'm just bad at this game," and I'm like, "No, you're not at all, dude." That trick, you can't pull that trick out of that bag anymore because I know you're good. So
Well, the interesting thing is, like I remember now when we talked to Harris earlier, and he mentioned that he started back up in X of Swords. I forgot like how green he was when he jumped into that game that with me in the X of Swords monthly thing. But remember too, that was still kind of like COVID-ish times where there were
oh
no
yeah,
real events going on. So he definitely got really good like over a course of however many years as more events started and we got more competitive, but whereas Looper, he kind of got thrown into the fire really quick because now he started and then all these events are going on, and I don't think that was the same for Harris when he first jumped in.
plus the monthly, like him jumping in like Soldier and just getting learning why we call Harris Skynet like month one is just like, oh well, oh, you're gonna learn the hard way. Whoops.
Oh, he had some early lessons really quick. All right, going to Konstantin Savitsky. What made you want to start this podcast with a group of players? Maybe you went over this in another episode, but I only started listening since States. Well, I mean, the three of us were on cliX at first, and as that was ending, we kind of just wanted to continue doing it. So we took some time to get everything ready, and then just launched it. And Pete, we've been friends for a long time, and I've been bothering him to get on for a bit. And I think it only took one episode for him to get hooked into doing it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, why did we do it with this group? Because we like each other and we like to talk to each other, hang out and joke with each other. I mean, it's just a friendship. It goes beyond that. Like I can tell you stuff that's going on in these guys' lives outside of the podcast and that because they're just really good friends of mine. And so it's easy to commit to doing this because what am I doing? I'm talking to my buddies about a hobby I love.
Yeah, we all share the love of the game for sure. But I think even like if HeroClix stopped or whatever, I think they would still be friends without this, and just the content
yeah.
of the podcast would change.
Well,
But,
realistically, this is all stuff that we would be talking about anyway, like in Discords or Facebook messengers. We're just broadcasting it to
Very
the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, no, I agree with. I definitely wouldn't like. Oh, we're not doing HeroClix anymore. Like, let me just bail. It would just like be, whoa, what are we doing now instead, right?
All right.
we do a Transformers from start to finish podcast.
Ooh, that could be fun.
Oh, that would be
man.
amazing.
We've gone from bi daily to daily podcast again.
The sweatshop is open.
And then he added name and shame the asshole rule sticklers you talked about during your Mimic discussions. Man, I can't remember if I specifically...
I'm trying to remember too.
Yeah, if I just had examples of people that I know I played like over the course of the years, like that type of player, or if there was someone specific that... I can think of a couple people of the example where I say I'm going to attack this person, and before I can like declare a second target or make sure that that's what I'm doing, they roll their shape change. That one I remember because that sticks in my head. That really irritates me.
That wasn't me, was it? 'Cause I definitely tried not to do that, but I'm hoping that wasn't me. Or
No,
I'm
you're
just
pretty
like,
slow. You have to grab your cup and your dice, and then you got to shake your cup, and then you got to slam it on the table. And so that actually is good because before you lift the table, I'll be like, nope, don't lift the cup yet, Matt Dan.
Yeah.
I'm not-
It's hard for me to name them because they're usually just, someone that I just met for the first time and they're not good. So it's gonna usually be like an early round, or
Yeah,
it's
that's
gonna
a good,
happen
that's
like
a good
in
point.
Sealed game 2.
It also just
So
wasn't
I
that
remember their names.
memorable of an experience either. It was like, huh, this happened? Oh, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, usually it's the
I
players that don't play as competitively that think that that's how competitive players play, and so they try to pull that stuff, and so you don't usually play them too frequently.
that's
No,
a
you'll see
great
him
point.
skilled in Battle Royals.
That's a great point. There's very few. I can't think of a person that you would consider like a name or people know or you see on the Facebook pages or anything else that I've really had a truly terrible interaction with. It's often people that I've never seen before,
Right.
and it's
Mhm.
just I'm not going to name names, but if that's what you want to do, sure, it's fine. We can involve a judge whenever you want. It's not going to take it away from anything, but like it's wild, man. I've got stories upon stories of stuff with people pulling stuff like that.
And I'll say I might not
So
remember
Oh,
the
that's soon to be
names,
released on
but
our Patreon.
I'll remember the faces though. And so if that's how we're gonna start playing, it's
Yeah.
definitely how we're gonna play the whole game.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Paul Cote, 1 full year of putting out a ton of content. What is your favorite part of doing the show? For me, it's really just being able to have a set time aside each week that we get to talk about cliX with friends. That's number one for me, at least.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Really.
It's right there. I have 5
not-
kids and a wife, and so I don't really have a personal life outside of the family. So this is this
I
is
mean,
the
you,
day to keep me sane.
Yeah.
I mean, you own a farm and you got a bunch of kids. Like that would be hard to
Yeah.
juggle like a full-time personal life on top of that. I wouldn't be able to do it.
It's providing nothing of value, Paul, and for some reason they keep letting me come back on.
That's
So
your
that's
favorite
it.
thing?
Yeah,
we love
nothing
you.
of value. But it's like, hey Pete, it's Tuesday, we're gonna record. Sure. Yeah. No, it's talking with you guys. I mean, it's the same thing everybody said.
I will say it does help me make teams when we're talking about like everyone else's teams and events and things like that. So there's definitely a an aspect that helps me prepare when I can't go because I will not play Roll20, and we make time to travel to these events, but time is definitely a factor.
See, that's like the biggest thing for me is like I wouldn't make the teams I've made without like your guys' input. Like it's where like I'll take a team and I'll keep modding it until like it's like as optimized as I can get it. You know what I mean? Like, and
Mhm.
I'm not gonna sacrifice like a better piece to play something else. It's just like, well, like, I mean, I'm a little more rigid, I guess, as far as like what I'll play, but I still like, I'm not gonna play something that's just inherently worse. And I think that's like the biggest thing I've learned over time is just like you take a team and you keep modding it and making adjustments and trying to make it better until like you can't anymore. And then it's just about performance and practice.
Mhm. All right, going to number 2. If you could book WrestleMania, what would be the night 1 and night 2 main events of the matches currently announced or implied? Miles, I want you to start with this one.
You're gonna have Jay and Gunther. Night one. The I really like it when the championship matches are the last match, and luckily it's 2 nights. Night 2, WrestleMania 41 cannot end with anything that isn't Cody versus John Cena, and that has to be night 2. That can't be night 1. That has to be the last impression that you have of WrestleMania weekend is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for me.
Okay. Do you want to see any people getting involved interference wise?
No, I just want Cena to beat him clean. Jey Uso, I it's so tough because I'd love to see him win because I've been a fan of his dad. I love the Samoan dynasty. I've been a huge fan of the Anawahi family. Um, but it's I don't know. I just want to. I don't like it when they do the run-ins because they just overdo it. They don't understand how it seems how to do it where less is more. It's just they try and one up it over and over, and it's just overbooked to where it ruins the story that was being told by the two wrestlers in the match.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about like a sorry, let's go to Pete before I throw a couple other things at you guys. Pete, what do you think?
Um, I agree with Miles. I think Cody and Cena should end WrestleMania Night 2. I don't have a problem with championship matches opening either. I'd actually like night 2 to be belt intensive. I would like night 1 to be most of your other non-belt involved things. Maybe throw in a, like a mid-card title or something in there. I would like night 1 to end with Roman versus Seth versus Punk. And I
No,
would like
you can't. You can't let him finish his stories. Punk can never main event a WrestleMania.
but
You
I
have
would
you-
like it
you-
I want
I
to
would
see
like
that.
it to be I do too, and I would
Yeah.
like it to be I would even like it to be a gimmick match. Like 3 of them in the cage or 3 of them in the cell or something like that. Like that's what I would like.
Yeah.
But I agree with and as far as this is my own personal nightmare is that the Cody versus Cena is going to just be completely overbooked with just going for the cheap pop of showing off the legends. Like I like the legends, I like them being there, I like them being involved, but I want WrestleMania to tell the stories of the wrestlers that have been there week after week, the people that we've invested in. I think it's super cool to see The Rock. I think it's super cool to see Steve Austin. I think it's super cool to see The Undertaker. Those guys get plenty of time. They had their time. They're on other TV shows now too. So just let the guys in the ring have their moment without all of that.
Dan, do you have an opinion on this one?
I was more informed on something like this, but I have no idea. I think the biggest thing is like the entertainment value, though, right? So like you don't want to, what's the word for it? Like drop all the good stuff like on night 1, so because you're then just night 2 is just gonna feel a little more deflated, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the biggest thing for me is just the entertainment value. So if they can even it out or at least like have it's like the what do you call it? Not the bell curve, but like you're building up to this like big crescendo moment at the end, and that's more like what I'm thinking. So like pacing and stuff is very important.
So definitely Uso and Gunther on night 1. And then what do you think of Seth, CM Punk, and Roman on night 1? And then the winner either is Cody's tag team partner against The Rock and Cena, or they get entered into Cena-Cody for a triple threat for the belt.
You're hoping it's Punk.
No, that's gonna be overbooking
Yes.
it.
No.
You can't. You can't
No,
make it
Punk needs
threat.
the main event night 2 of WrestleMania,
No.
and I want The Rock involved. Yes.
You know what? I'll take that as long as Punk is the one to take the pin. If he's gonna main event it, he has to be the one to take the pin.
I do like The Rock as his like newer, what I like equated to like Vince McMahon persona. I do like that. That's
It's been neat.
interesting.
Oh, final boss. Yeah. No. Yeah. It has to be. If CM Punk is in the main event with Cody Rhodes and John Cena, he has to take the pin.
No.
So Cena's gonna beat. Yeah. No. Cena's gonna beat. He's gonna pin Punk for the title, leaving Cody Rhodes as "You didn't beat me," and which is gonna be the blow off match. Is gonna lead into shenanigans before Cody beats him at SummerSlam, because John Cena, if you look throughout his career, John Cena doesn't win at SummerSlam. So
then he needs to in his final
that's how you
year.
finish the story. Yeah,
Or
he's gonna lose to SummerSlam because he always loses.
or
So, yeah, SummerSlam's gonna be.
Punk gets Cena and Cody on his shoulders and puts them both to sleep and then pins them both at the same time. How about that?
No, Cena, Punk's garbage. Punk's a punk.
Oh, those are
All right,
some strong
since you're
words.
such a CM Punk fan, what does CM stand for in his name? Let's see if you get this right.
Chick magnet.
Okay, you actually got that one. Okay. I hate Pepsi Phil, by the way.
That's fine.
I did not know that
Like
either, but that's
It's dumb. Yeah. If you have to call yourself a chick magnet, you're not a chick magnet.
I'm not supporting that, so at least he abbreviated it so that it's not
No, I know.
always chick magnet.
It's just so hard for me because he was one of the reasons why I stopped watching WWE like in 2008, 2009. He's just a bland main eventer, and I just never enjoyed him. Once he left Ring of Honor, I was so stoked to see him join WWE, and then yeah, he just got so stale. I didn't like what happened after he left Ring of Honor.
I liked his promos. I thought they were good.
He's great on the mic. I'm not a fan of him either, Miles. And I always like when Miles truly hates a wrestler because the hate is deep. So
Yeah, him and Colby.
yeah.
So I want Roman Reigns to win that triple threat match.
Would you have said that 5 years ago?
Actually, I probably would have because that was the beginning of when I started really liking Reigns. So like let's see, Reigns. What really made me a fan of Reigns was honestly the Extreme Rules match. I believe it was in 2016, 2017 with AJ Styles. Um, I think it was 2017. Yes, 2017 because AJ Styles was champ and beat him.
Okay.
That's when I was actually started becoming a fan of Roman. Was during his feud with AJ Styles.
Okay.
I was not a fan of Roman until he went heel, and he was just phenomenal during that whole run.
Oh yeah, no, it was I liked him for the potential, and I knew that he could do the heel thing, but he still had a lot of work on him. But like his in ring work was actually getting to where okay, I like him as a wrestler. You know, he's not AJ Styles was being pushed to the champion, so it was totally fine, and he was finally actually putting in work. And yeah, no, once he got the Wiseman, boom.
And I'll say something like WWE, like it's hard to be a babyface champ. Like Cody's done a great job. I'm not a huge fan, but other people really, really like it. And he's done a really good job of maintaining that. So I'm anxious to see him and Cena. We'll see how John does. He's essentially said they've released like the number of dates he's going to be there, so you kind of know this is coming to an end at some point. But him going for the 17th or 18th, depending on how many belts they count on this, is well deserved. So.
I mean, he's got quite a few. I mean, the amount that they're saying that he's supposed to do appearances, that's like a full-time schedule.
I read 46. That's
yeah,
what I believe.
That's decent.
Yeah, that's yeah. Compared to look at when you had Brock Lesnar that showed up 3 times a year, maybe 4.
Oh yeah, I hope he comes back too at night too.
Redmond's just hoping for like just 35 people running in like the Royal Rumble in the main event, and somehow
Well,
CM Punk
that's what
coming out
WWE
on
is really
top.
catering to. WWE is really catering to the casual fans that don't understand match quality. That just wants to,
But that's what they do at WrestleMania. Like that's what they do.
I know they do. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, no, I really miss when like the matches actually really really mattered and didn't get overbooked.
But see, I miss those wrestlers that used to do that though. I'm way less connected to the people that are on screen now. So if those guys come back, that's a big deal to me. Even though I agree with you that I'm not a big fan of like the overbooking and everything, but the problem is that I just don't care about a lot of the people that are in the ring right now. And if anybody comes back from when I was into it, it's awesome.
I just want John Cena to get that, that final run, so that I want you to be, I want a sweet DVD collection where you can just tell his comeback tour or whatever, his last run, like from start to finish, and like not have like bullshit. You're just like, yeah, it was perfect from start to finish.
Yeah, he deserves a good finish.
I hope somebody no sells a brainbuster on a chair so Miles just launches into space about it.
Oh, and I hope it happens to John Cena because he's,
And I hope somebody explains how Cena's hair went from what it was to what it was last week. Like that's the storyline I need somebody to delve into.
Yeah.
All right, Paul's last.
He should have been like Hogan and just embraced it. Okay.
All right, Paul's last question: do you prefer cats, dogs, or the Hat Man that appears in My Nightmares? So, 100% dogs over shitbag cats, but the Hat Man you mentioned is kind of concerning.
Very, yeah. This is tough. So, on a farm, I got cats that live outside. They're my barn cats, and they're amazing. They're friendly cats, but they they keep everything. I got a few that are like dogs. So I guess I'm about to lean towards dogs because the cats that I like are the ones that are like the dog. They're like the dog. They don't remind you of a cat.
So you're going with dogs because you have cats that are like dogs?
I have dogs too. I have 7 Newfoundlands, 2 pugs. Yeah.
Okay, so it's because you like dogs, you
dogs.
have dogs, and you have cats that act like dogs, not because you have cats that just act like dogs.
No, but I prefer. Yeah, I have 2 cats that are like, if something happened to them, I'd be devastated.
Okay.
They act like dogs. Yeah.
I'm much more of a dog person, but I like animals in general. So I grew up with dogs, so um, that's probably where I lean more often. But animals in general are great. So
Any opinions on the Hat Man under Paul's bed?
um, I mean, everybody's got a monster. I've got mine in my pipes, so I get it.
I would like to know if it is a
Does the Hat
man.
Man's name Durhold?
I'd like to know if it is a man wearing a hat or if it is a hat-like creature man that is just a hat with arms and legs and eyes.
I just assumed it was Jesse messing with him.
That would be
Cats
a
are
man in a hat.
Yeah. Cats or dogs? My dog's amazing. He's like my buddy, right? The dog's the only thing that's ever excited when I get home. Nothing else in the house is. But we've had a great cat for 17 years. And so I'll be a little upset when she goes. She's starting to become a little bit of an old lady. I'm starting to wonder if she's all still there mentally because she'll just basically stare at a wall sometimes for about an hour at a time. So, but she's been a great pet. She's super friendly.
Adorable. I remember I met her once, and I was like, "Oh, she's just fantastic."
The problem with cats is like, and this is just from personal experience of having like multiple cats over the time I've been alive, is they go one of two ways: either super chill and fun, or they are hellions. There's no middle ground. So I think I probably would say that dogs are easier pets. They're not easier pets; they require more attention. But the dog's definitely more fun and happy. The cat could care less what we were doing most of the time as long as she gets fed. So, and the Hat Man. Good luck, Paul. Good luck.
Good luck. All right, then we have Dylan Barrett. With Bardley Quinn, are you able to pulse wave with no enemies in range? Pulse wave states it needs an enemy target. So in HeroClix, you do as much as you can, which is why if like you declare Quake, you still destroy all terrain within 1 square, even if there's no target. And then when you move from the destroy phase of that power, then you would not have any legal target, and so the action ends. You don't roll dice or anything like that. So for Harley, you declare Pulse Wave, and then the durations within her range are ended, powers are turned off, and then when you move to the attack, if there's no legal target, then you don't roll the attack, so no actual attack happens and the action resolves. So she still used Pulse Wave, she just didn't make an attack. And so so that's why she gives the +1 attack to your team. It's not contingent on her actually making an attack, it's just that she used Pulse Wave, and then they were in the range of that Pulse Wave.
Yeah, if it said when Harley Quinn uses it and hits, they've already clarified that to where you have dice have to have been rolled and you have to have made an attack in order for something to be considered a hit.
Yeah. So that's why that works. And that's why you can Quake to remove like barrier and stuff like that. You can do as much as you can of the power until you can't anymore, and then you move on. Mm-hmm. All right, then we have Joe Clark. In silver, is collector viable? What should be put with him? So we talked about this before. That's what I'm definitely going to be building with in silver. And I think what I would like to see is Power Gem and Soul Gem. Those are my 2 that I want to start off with just because we like the gems. But that still leaves 10 points that I haven't decided, and 200 more points of silver.
I mean, there's always Mjolnir, so...
Would he... Oh, yeah, because he would get it for free, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Honestly, Ego Gem's not bad either, and pump up his damage.
Yeah. Ego's power and soul. Absolutely.
I think it depends on your playstyle. I like motorcycle, arms, and...
But in silver, he's already your 200 points, right? So does that work when he gets the 30 points for free, so you can use your modern equipment still?
Oh, yeah.
You literally just said Mjolnir.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Brain's a little fizzled. Sorry.
Yeah, motorcycle, arms, and you're going to give him Bucky's arm for the close combat expert for your 30. So that way he's now like just a charged flurry, just monster with super sense and another rollout.
Would you do
Yeah.
Spectral Ring instead of Bucky's arm for the precision strike?
Potentially. Yeah, you can move that. Yeah.
I mean, any of the rings are probably good. I mean, different things you can do with them. So
I think, but I think motorcycle and for the charge senses, and then all arms for flurry is very important.
Okay.
Yeah, charge flurry is good.
he definitely needs the multiple attacks. Like he's going almost every turn, but having 2 attacks is still always better than 1.
I would even consider Power Gem, Soul Gem, and the Universal Weapon. Honestly, on him.
Yeah, I'd be looking at other things, but I think I would start at Power Gem and Soul Gem. Is that?
Yeah, there's just so many options.
That's why I want to start with him in silver. That's where I'm going as soon as we start building for it.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmic. That's where I'm looking. Yeah, I'm a one-trick pony. And that's a pretty good trick in silver with
I was
him.
gonna say your trick's pretty good though. So
Then Dan, what would you say are your 3 go-to equipments for him?
I was thinking of silver. I mean, the gems are big. I mean, soul is good, power is good. I like Mjolnir. I think it's good. I also think Thunderstrike is actually underrated, but because when you're hitting people and you're knocking them back, you just heal. So it's healing while attacking is good. So
Yarnborn with a dice manipulator is something to think about too.
yeah, 10s through 12s becomes crits. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a 20 from range, or well, I guess 20 all the time though with the Soul Gem, and he'd be a 20 defense and a 13 for 6 from closer range.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
When Mern rotates into silver, that's going to be a whole animal.
Yeah,
there.
That's going to be an issue. But I think all 4 of us agree he's 100% a contender in silver, right?
Oh yeah. As your
yeah.
200 points of modern, he's amazing.
And then his other question is, Spider-Ham Prime seems fun and competitive. What does he pair best with? My pick is Butterfly, and just being able to use the Swarm Bystanders for the plasticity. I want to do an animal theme team with him.
See,
I think it's gonna be more of your play style if you're gonna play him. You have to be aggressive because that trait of not only plasticity, but you can't be targeted within 4. I think you really need to look. You gotta be aggressive to make sure that happens. I like him and Mysterio. I think they make a great pair. Him and Butterfly obviously is another great option, but Mysterio Spider-Ham is what I like.
I still think him on Monster is good too. Honestly, I mean, he's got good things going on, and
He's got great keywords.
Oh,
exactly,
yeah. There's a lot of potential there.
I'm looking to buy one right now. Sorry.
You haven't found one yet?
No, I haven't bought one yet. He seems super fun. He's just honestly, I don't know. I haven't looked at him much.
I think people are too caught up in like just the funny thing that he does and saying it's not that good, which is the knock somebody back 16 squares. When you give everyone on your team plasticity and they can't be shot if they're within 4, like that's insane for 50 points.
Well, his placement too is, I realize it's a free, but his placement,
just
You
within
don't
it
need
doesn't
line
need
of
line
fire.
of fire.
yeah, he just
within
No,
4.
it's just within range,
So-
not line of fire.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no line of fire, so he just
Yeah.
places behind walls and everything. That's
Right.
amazing.
He's got great mobility. Like I was like, oh, that's a thing.
Yeah, this is I think I mentioned it before, but if I didn't do that well at Champion Clicks, I was going to start building with him next. But it's just not much time before Adepticon, so riding with Blue Beetle again. But this guy is definitely on my short list of primes to build with. Pete, did you have anything on your limited amount of knowledge of him?
No, not really.
Okay.
I honestly have not looked at him more than I didn't pull him, and I actually didn't play against him. So I mean, what we did in the set reviews, he seems super cool. He's a great point cost for a prime. 50 points is awesome for everything he does.
Mm-hmm.
So plasticity is just a gross power to hand out. Thanks, Dan, for teaching me that. So
Yeah, not even that's what's crazy. Is like even without that trait, if he just handed friendly characters plasticity, he would be prime worthy. You know, it's like
Hey, I just
Yeah.
want to hug Pete, but then I'm not going to let you go.
Yeah. All right, then we have Marley Spliff. Who is the most dominant degenerate of the crew? Who has the better win-loss record and better showing at events overall? Do any of you plan on playing for the Adepticon BR Championship?
I know one person who probably is.
The BR Championship?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Ollie.
Oh, that is your child, Ollie.
Oh yeah. The problem is that I feel like if you're gonna go for that, you can't do any other events, and he's gonna be doing Team Sealed and Modern. So, and he's got school on Thursday, so all he's gonna be doing is whenever the other events are done for him, and Sunday. So there's no way that he'll be able to.
I mean, he's still gonna try. That I know.
So. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, you leave that to the people that that just. Yeah, that's their own thing. You saw it at Worlds a lot too. That's why I was glad I didn't really play in as many BRs. Is because it sounds fun, but that's only when you get in with a good group of people. But there's a lot of issues at Worlds, and there's always a lot of issues at these areas when you have just the pure casuals that just go there for the battle royals, and there's a good chunk there. Just it's miserable to play.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
But as far as the most dominant, I know Miles has a pretty good record, but that's only because he competes in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm not sure how much stock that holds.
Man,
I mean, I had a better record in the 2v2 than you when you had the same competition.
Did you?
I won all 5 of my games.
Did you though?
Yeah, actually 6. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd your teammates suck?
Did.
Yep.
Oh man.
He got into the vortex.
Yeah, Dan Jellybean got me. Jellybean completely disarmed me by the
Little Mermaid, right?
Yeah. I was playing against.
Yeah,
I was playing against Legacy Thanos, and I looked at Pete and I said, "Okay," I said, "I'm gonna win, but not by a lot of points." I said, "So you just need to score points," and he got wiped, and I only won. I won 65-0.
I had a crucial first turn. I just didn't get aggressive with him. And that was basically the game, as we talked about it afterwards. But I seriously was laughing so hard from the Little Mermaid conversation that we had about 25 seconds before the game started, which completely took me out of any competitive mindset.
Wasn't he saying about how he just watched it and he didn't realize something before?
I can't remember exactly. If you ever, I don't know that Daniel Schroeder's going to play anymore, but if you ever meet Jellybean, it's just about as good as meeting Miles. The stories aren't as good as the experience itself. And we're super serious, and I'm looking at my stuff, and I'm really trying to really think through how my positioning is and stuff, and looking at his team, and I could get across that map pretty easily with the team I had. And he looks up, and all of a sudden he goes, "Man, you ever watched The Little Mermaid?" He goes, "I forgot how intense that movie was." And then I just started cracking up, and we seriously talked about Little Mermaid probably a good 2 minutes into the start of the game, and he's like, "Hey, it's your turn." And I'm I'm completely discombobulated and just couldn't regroup. So I did not have a good showing. And we talked about the end. He's like, if you'd have came out that first turn, it would have been a completely different game. And I had the classic I just whiffed my alpha, completely whiffed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we made cut first time as team. It was amazing. So
who's the most dominant?
Hold on. I want to tell a Jellybean story because he's the only person that has this experience that I've talked to, at least. The best sleep you can get is a power nap after you pound a monster. You pound a monster, you take a nap, you wake up, and you're the most rested you've ever been.
I agree with you 100%. I started trying to after you told me about it.
It's magic. You just take a quick power nap, you pound the monster first, then you take the power nap, and you wake up so refreshed. It's the best. And he knew exactly what I was talking about.
We had a great trip out for Chip's birthday. We got invited to that, and dude, Jellybean he's just in his own little universe half the time. And when he occasionally lets you hang out with him in it, it's just hilarious.
It's great.
So fun. Yeah, such a good dude. Who's the most dominant? Redmond and Miles are really top tier players. Um, Dan's amazing player. Harris is an amazing player. Like Bookwood's really pretty good at competitive against. Honestly, as much as we give him crap, he shows up.
That's because
Christine is in.
well, hold on. That's because he also plays the same competitive teams for our local events every Monday too. So he gets lots of competitive practice.
That's true. Jeremy, one of our local judges, is a really good player and has played for a long time and really knows what he's doing with his teams. Loopers come on strong. Playing against Christine is a nightmare. Like it's fun, but it is just an aggressive game that you're stressed out until the last roll. Despite what Redmond says, I do actually have a winning record in HeroClix.
Where?
No, I do. You can look
Where?
at the win. You can look it up right now.
Those are the
I have a
buys
winning
from all the
record.
losing ones.
Oh, just stop it. But my competitive run lately has been abysmal. So I'm looking to rebound here. I'm probably not playing for
I
the
think there's
Battle
a
Royal
tiebreaker.
Championship.
I think there is a tiebreaker. And all I gotta say is 4-3 with Lady Mastermind and Simon Garth at Pulp Worlds.
Whatever.
That's a good point. Redmond doesn't take bets. He doesn't take fun bets.
I take bets.
That's my main issue with a lot of the bigger events.
I'll take bets.
Is that
Or no,
I do joke teams.
Yeah, I'm not going to play joke
know?
teams because I want to actually do well at the events I travel to.
And I usually do well with with it, but no, I'm not doing joke teams as much this year. Like that whole entire no roll team was a joke team until I found out that, oh my god, this actually works. But a lot of my joke teams don't work. Like that last year, the last 2 worlds that I went to, I just brought joke teams and yeah. But no, yeah, Redmond goes to more events, he places higher. So I think
if you play one of us and you win, like we are a fairly consistently reasonably good play group.
Yeah.
Like all of us. Ollie included.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's hilarious to watch Ollie correct people about rules.
That's one of my favorite
amazing.
thing when we go to events and he's playing just full adults and they think they know the rules and then he corrects them and they have to call a judge and he's just completely 100% right.
It's always funny when I come over for an event and Ollie's like, "Hey, I can do this, right?" And like they explain, it's like, "Yes, you can."
Yep, he
And his
knows them.
opponent, like some opponents just like look in disbelief, and others are just like, "Well, I guess I shouldn't have called the kid on that one."
Mm-hmm. All the buys. You can get fucked.
All right,
I'd say
going.
I've gotten a lot better, but I'm definitely not like the most dominant of the group at all. I have my gimmick that I play, and I'm fine with it. So
You don't get to play as much too when you're judging.
well, no, yeah, the dominant, yeah, and also because like there are certain things that you just don't want to play because you have that it's the I don't really want to say casual mindset, but because you are competitive, but like you don't want to play things for certain reasons, and
No,
that can
I'm-
sometimes hurt your
I'm
detriment.
rig-
But
I'm
yeah,
much
you're a
more-
good player.
Yeah, I'm much more rigid. I won't bend for certain things because that's just who I am.
I just constantly try to do what I want to do with the team that I think is good. And the problem is like until recently, like I've never hardly ever practiced a competitive team. Like it's always been theory crafting and placement. But now our group has gotten so big and we're all kind of doing the same thing. So we have a lot more practice things on Monday night, which is nice. I do kind of miss the nonsense nights though.
Yeah, I missed we've had like just a crazy run of like sealed and chase booster events and then practicing for big events. So we haven't been able to play as many of those like fun nights anymore. But when we were not seeing as many people come, like a lot of us, I didn't want to even play that much competitive stuff because I was just hoping that we would get anyone that wanted to come play and I didn't want to scare them off.
Yeah, Bookwood didn't care.
No. So we had a lot of people that are up for playing.
We got a reputation though somehow.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, that we were like a super meta store, and when it's like chase boosters or practice, it is. But there's sometimes people trotting out pieces that you're like, well, that's a choice, So
I've definitely done that for the Monday nights where it's like there's nothing on the line. It's just I'm just here for fun. I just want to play something fun. I don't care.
Yeah, that's some of the best nights.
Mm-hmm.
All right, going
there's been moments where Eagleys come up big, and there's been things yelled throughout the store where the Magic players on the other side are wondering what's going on.
Yeah, that was Peacemaker's the Peacemaker iconic set versus I think it was Weapon X, right? I had like Maverick and Sabretooth and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, eagerly one turn something. It was
Yeah, that
beautiful.
hurts so bad.
I did love that last week with Bookwood. Like he was just like he realized killing my birds was the worst thing he could do, and then I just hit everything, and he's just like, "What is going on?" And then you just steal the magic player's turn.
And like not for nothing, like Dalton really is. His dice have been bad lately. I like almost like feel bad for him. Bad, like my level
Yeah.
of bad.
Oh yeah, they're like 3s and 4s, maybe a 5 here and there. It's pretty
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah, but he's a really good player too. Like Dalton knows what he's trying to do with his teams and comes there to do it. And yeah, it's not an easy. We're not an easy win, despite what Redmond would say about some of us because he's a jerk.
All right, going to William DeRoker. First one is I had a dream last night. In the dream, Lantern Legacy brought back the lantern rings, but all the constructs are now Pogs, only available in retail chase boosters. What are the chances that the dream was prophetic? I mean, that sounds more like a nightmare, right?
Yeah, that's definitely like the what is that like? Oh, what's like the worst horror movie you could think of where you're like stuck in your own head?
Well, to be fair, nightmares are still dreams. So maybe
Yeah.
William DeRoker's on to something.
Well, the one thing is we can confirm that's not a thing because then they announced that there's no more Pogs in the chase boosters or something like that. and
No, I
we're
said
like,
no more bystanders.
That's what it is. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, there's not been an announcement.
constructs are not-
People are just going off of the
Yeah, true.
the solicits.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
for what's Smash and Destroy, does it say it on Smash and Destroy? The solicit?
know.
I'm not sure about Smash and Destroy,
No.
but I think the solicit doesn't mention them for Lantern Legacy, and then it also doesn't mention them for X-Men 97, and that's as far as we go. So hopefully something is changing there. Let me ask you this, though. If that was true, how much do you think the chainsaw would go for, and how much do you think the spotlight would go for, based off current bystander pricings?
Wait, the spotlight. Don't you mean the stop sign?
No, I mean the spotlight. The chainsaw would be. I think the chainsaw would be the most. Stop sign would probably be
Yeah,
second. But spotlight.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think people would pay for the spotlight? $5?
That one would probably drop pretty hard unless they rework it.
No,
and
I
make
don't
it
think so.
actually good.
Even the worst bystanders are still selling between 30 and 50.
But this is the
fair.
spotlight.
So,
Nothing's changed.
It doesn't matter.
The spotlight?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The bad bystanders are still selling for $30, and the spotlight's going to be more useful than that.
What is the spotlight doing?
Yeah,
Have you ever called the spotlight in when the goal wasn't to kill it?
If it worked the way I wanted it to work, yes, I would. But it doesn't work. the way
Yes,
it
yes,
should.
I did. I have called it in
Why?
You lose
By
a bet.
accident?
because I didn't want to waste a better construct, and I wanted to get outwit for that turn with Lex Luthor, because everyone that had this keyword or adjacent
Oh
had
yeah,
a Superman enemy.
Yeah, you used Superman.
Yeah, so you didn't care what was next to you. It was just you literally just said you took the
No,
worst
but
thing and you didn't
ways
use it.
Yeah, I know. It's just I'm just saying though.
It's a $5
It's still gonna sell
bystander
for
if it
30
happens.
No, just because it's gonna be rare, and they're like, "Oh, I need it. It's if you need it." You know, that crap. Yeah,
This is going to a poll, I think.
I just want to talk about the chainsaw for a second. I love the chainsaw.
What would
The
you
chainsaw's
pay?
Never done.
What would
He's
you?
never done anything useful for me. If you want to watch me crit miss both parts of a flurry,
Every
it's
time.
with the chainsaw. Every time.
Every time with the chainsaw, you're like, I'm gonna pack a chainsaw, and then it just dies, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
depressing.
Or my blades roll is 1.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that was great. I did get to call it in. Now it just didn't do anything.
What would you pay for your favorite colored lantern chainsaw? As if it was a
If that was-
bystander. Only way to get it.
If that's how it was, they'd start probably about $100.
You think it would start at 100 only?
I think it might scale from there, but it all depends. Like, yeah.
The only reason I think it's
I
that
wanna
low is
see
because
the
you still
new
need the
rings.
rings. Yeah.
Yeah, the new rings I hope have like a card with the bystanders that you're able to generate them. So that way you don't have to collect them again. That's what
Yeah.
I'm hoping that happens.
Yeah. I'd like to see
That
more
was a
variety
great
that
set.
way
With the
too.
same stats as the Batman team up. With the same stats as the Batman team up ones. So that way it's
You can still use them if you have them.
Those were fine.
Yep.
Like there was nothing wrong with the Batman team up ones. They were all just okay.
no.
I mean, the most expensive ones are the chainsaw and the boot.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Dude,
stop
the
sign.
stop sign.
Yeah,
The boot is so good.
the boot does ridiculous things constantly.
boot-
in our
I
monthly
love the
games.
$50. I think most of the boots are still spendy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, in our last monthly game, I had the yellow ring, and so I made one of the boots from Wonder Woman 80. I made that one, and it kicked off Christine's, I think, commissioner, right? And KO'd him off the building. And then it was the other boot that I threw at Harris's Mr. Mixie Plixel, whatever his name is, booted him right off the building and KO'd him too. That felt so good.
The rings get a lot of
A
play with
full
us.
Sinestro set with the ring for $60 on eBay right now.
Ooh,
Wild.
that's worth it.
Somebody should message Looper.
Do it.
It's everything. It's everything but the spotlight.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think I just have a box with spotlights in it in my basement. Actually,
It's Amazon or Google lied to me. It is not available still. Someone bought it.
Okay.
good job, Looper.
And then he says, P.S. Happy birthday, Degeneration Clicks. Thank you, Bill. All right, then we got Mork Bird. Happy anniversary, Degen Clicks team. What a solid year the podcast has been. What in-joke from the podcast has been the longest running joke that perhaps you won't ever let die, excluding the Bookwood Report?
Yeah, Mort gets it. That's great.
I think put it on a bike is never going to die, but I think my favorite is yard guards.
It's true. Yes. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's a thing you can do is
That's
the
up
one
there
that's
too,
like-
yeah.
Kong crit missing.
Oh yeah, that's never going to die.
No, that's a staple.
And
We've-
Zola.
Yeah, those are all good. The set reviews when we spammed Wakanda forever for the whole 2 episodes.
For every Wakanda keyworded piece.
Oh
You know, like
that was so
3/4%.
I was almost making one for that had Spider-Man family for Spider-Verse.
For what one?
A Spider-Man one for if they had Spider-Man family
Oh, for the
for our
drop.
Spider-Verse. But I'm like, no, that's got to be a Black Panther Wakanda because nothing's cooler than Wakanda Forever.
No.
Just adding to Dan's list of nicknames just randomly.
Yeah.
Whatever it is has been good too.
Yeah, I've gotten so many. Christine's got me with one now. Just that one has evolved to like 3 or 4 now. It's like
Mhm.
okay.
Inspired some underwear.
Oh, you're
too,
now
actually.
3 or 4 fingers.
No, it's just like I was 2-finger Dan, and then I'm was it giant size Dan thing now? It's evolved.
Yeah.
Young Daniel.
behind the green
evil
door, Dan.
Daniel. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Miles verse has been great. Yard Guards is right up there though.
Oh yeah, yard guards is my favorite. Do you think Memphis will be the forever home of worlds, or do you foresee it moving around the U.S. in the future? I don't think there's that many people that honestly wanted to stay in Memphis, so I could see them like trying a new venue, maybe a little bit more central. I would love it if it was in like Chicago or something like that. Easy hub.
They don't have to spend money. That's the thing, though, is that they save money by running it there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's more successful because more people can get to it, if it was in like a major
That's
hub
gonna be
area
tough,
like
yeah, with
Chicago
how-
or something.
it'd be nice to test it. I think realistically, it depends on other events if they're able to come anywhere near Worlds from a bigger hub like that. I think that might change it because, like last year, there was like 200 people in Modern, and there's also 100 people playing Battle Royals at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's. I think we'd have to see more people going to those hub areas like down in Florida for the Champion Cliques or like Adepticon for Nationals. And like once those numbers, like if there's 120 people there that can be, like, if they exceed that, I think then you can start looking at it because financially they don't really They're not paying for
Yeah, their
anything.
overhead is low. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or lower anyway. But yeah, I mean, I think like Atlanta's another good hub city as far as like that. It's relatively like central. I mean, it's on the eastern side of the country, but it's like most of your major airports connected there. So
Yeah.
I like it being in the Midwest, like selfishly. And
Yeah,
Memphis is
makes the
not
most
cost
sense.
prohibitive. It's
It's
not
cheap.
cost. Yeah,
It's-
it's not cost prohibitive unless you're at Graceland. Like the
Yeah,
food,
but I
like
mean, out throughout the town, even though it's cheap compared to other places.
true. Yeah, it's pretty affordable
So.
for the most part.
I would like to see it just actually move to Milwaukee because then I could just drive to it every day.
Even Chicago, it's like I'll just take the train down. That's fine. Like, it's
All right, and then he has another question. In the world of wrestling now, who has your favorite mustache? Miles.
This is tough. It's Hulk Hogan's right up there.
Would he still
I
count as
love
now?
the new blackjack.
I
No,
think
he
he's-
says,
I think he's just- I think
he's saying in the world of wrestling now.
Yeah, I think he's
He's
just
switching for
shifting-
clicks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay, not currently.
it's just pivoting. Yeah, he just
Yeah.
his statement was meant. As
Yeah,
a
he
pivot.
just pivoted. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's got to be Hulk Hogan, the new Blackjacks, which was Barry Windham, and then Bradshaw. Their mustaches were amazing. But I'm probably gonna have to go with what most people know as Zeb Coulter, but back when he was Dutch Mantel. He probably has the most gorgeous mustache of any man.
That's a good one. I thought this was.
I'm gonna send a picture just so Dan can see how glorious this is.
I thought he meant like currently on the roster now. So I I said Dominic Mysterio.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Dom's mustache is great.
Yeah.
Dax Harwood would also get a shout out too. That's a serious mustache. When Dax walks in the room, you know who's in charge because the mustache just told you.
What about your favorite gimmick?
That's another tough one.
It's not. Of all time,
Okay, who do you... Yeah.
the greatest gimmick of all time is the Undertaker. Gimmick, like just straight gimmick.
Yeah, it is, but it's not.
No,
the
that's
one
your
that was,
it's your favorite.
Yeah, that's not the one that resonates with me. Again, I thought this was like now, so I said heel Cena.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I liked OG Cena when he was like very
But-
much the like hip hop star when he first came out.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I really enjoyed that gimmick because I was just like, this is dope.
I was in California, obviously this whole entire last week. On my LJN ring, and I have my LJN wrestlers, and I decided to pop in some of my old Coliseum videos. And I'm gonna have to go with the guy that started as a male stripper and then became a barber. I'm gonna go with Brutus, the barber beefcake. Yeah. From a male stripper to a barber, like come on, that's like life goals right there.
I will say though, as far as if it's not the current ones though, the guy that really made me want to watch wrestling in the 2000s was The Rock. So that was probably my favorite.
Yeah, and it's tough, yeah, because whenever I hear the gimmick, like I think of like characters. Like The Rock is just The Rock, so I never really see him as a gimmick.
Yeah,
like
that's
growing
hard
up in
too.
that.
Yeah.
In the Hulk Hogan era, you had the Red Rooster, you had Duke the Dumpster Drosy, like those are Bastion Booger.
I guess I mean like the time frame of him because he kind of changed over time too.
Oh,
so
for
like
sure,
that,
no, he was so good. Yeah,
even though it's like a character like you're saying and not necessarily a gimmick, but like that time frame of him in 2000 for a couple years.
and then that's why I also like Nick Foley with Mankind, the Cactus Jack. Yeah, that was such a
like when he changed from that to like the Hollywood. We talked about this like an episode or two ago. Like when he turned into like I did not like that as much. So like that is kind of what I meant with the gimmick part.
Yeah.
Did you say yours, Pete? Or you said Undertaker?
I mean, I still think the Undertaker.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, just for the consistency over time. As I personally,
Which Undertaker?
any of the times he was, Like even when he went to the American Badass and stuff, he was still the Undertaker. Like he just rode down on a bike. It was still the same guy doing the same things. He just changed his look a little bit. I
And
loved
the
Legend Killer Randy Orton. Loved it.
Yeah.
Just absolutely enjoyed it. Watching him drag some really terrible old wrestlers to good matches was just incredible. When Randy's invested,
And then
he's
it got buried.
amazing. Yeah.
That's the one. Oh, good.
No, I was still thinking.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, the Legend Killer. It sucks, but it had to end because it didn't work for him, brother. Hulk Hogan smashing him at SummerSlam.
Mick Foley was a really good one, Miles. The Three Faces of Foley.
No.
Like the time when he came out
Yeah.
to the Rumble in 3 different characters. That was amazing.
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah, that was one of the greatest promos too when he had Cactus Jack make his appearance against Triple H, too. Yeah. No,
And
I just had to go like it. Yeah, I was playing with my LGN figures. Like, yeah, that's
and
the one I would have picked is gonna be the answer for the next one, and it's gonna make you guys laugh.
All right, so if kayfabe never broke,
So I still
Oh, sorry.
I had one final answer. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And my favorite, personally, I loved Orton too, but Stone Cold Steve Austin. Dude, amazing. From the Austin 316 promo through the whole run.
Mm-hmm.
Like just
Oh, yeah.
great. Great. Even when he went corporate towards the end and he couldn't really do the things physically he used to do, still was just an over the top amazing character. There was a great clip the other day on something that popped up, like one of those, like, I don't know, Facebook, whatever their thing is, or TikTok clips that popped up about him talking about getting his royalty check for the Austin 316 shirts,
Uh-huh.
where he
Oh, yeah.
renegotiated
Yeah.
with Vince McMahon.
The Austin deal.
Yeah, and then Vince had to hand delivered him the check and basically said he's never wrote anybody a check that large in his life. It's just great.
All right, and then his next one for the wrestling is, if kayfabe never broke, who would you least like to meet down a dark alley? I've heard some nasty stories about that Haku guy.
Yeah, no. See, this kayfabe it's Kamala the Ugandan giant.
Okay.
Do you want to go into a dark alley and find just a giant 6'8", 350-pound cannibalistic Ugandan? No, you don't.
Abdullah the Butcher, another one you don't want to meet.
Yeah, you don't want him to give you Hep C.
No.
Oh.
There's some-
Yeah, it was Bruiser Brody. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bruiser Brody.
Good one too, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, and then
Haku's a good one.
last.
He's a legit badass.
Yeah, I've heard some really
There's
crazy stories about him.
things like that he's done.
I hope that was a dog drinking water.
Yes.
Sound like he was churning butter.
All right. Lastly, what wrestler has impressed you the most over the last year, from where they were a year ago to where they are now? I feel like
My
there's.
dog just came over here and drank a gallon of water.
I feel like there's more
Sound like you're
people that
trying
I'm
butter.
sad about them where they are now versus where they were a year ago.
Yeah, I guess that's really where it's at, because like I want to say Jey Uso, but like outside of the Yeet, I haven't really been too impressed. Like the burial of Austin Theory recently was just like, that didn't impress me for Jey Uso. I was just like, what kind of garbage is that?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that match or not. The dude that beat Cena loses to a cross body block.
That was just last week, right? This week? Last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Do you have an answer for that one, Pete?
Who's impressed me the most the last year? In ring, Konsuke Takeshita. Like, he's unbelievable. Like, just an unbelievable athlete. Puts on a great match. Does all kinds of stuff. In ring WWE, or just in ring over the last year.
Yeah.
Walter Gunther whatever he's going by now. I can never keep it straight. I always call him the wrong one. That dude is unbelievable. Just old school, just brutal, like the chop fest and that. Oh, wow, so good.
I got a match, by the way, that you're gonna have to watch before he joined WB. That's just a slap fest.
He's just impressive, just explosively powerful, and can do anything he wants in the ring. Like just really well rounded. So
Yeah, I feel like I have more people that I'm more sad about where they are now versus where they were a year ago, or people that have impressed me that were way worse, like or way less of where they were now, like 2 years ago.
I'm anxious to see what they do with Aleister Black coming back. I really liked him the first time. I really liked him as Malachi Black, and so I'm hoping that he gets to shine a little bit. I love his look. I love his whole style and everything. So we'll see. That's the big rumors that he's coming pretty soon.
I was gonna say that's not official, right?
I guess.
Right.
Well, Shinsuke is in a lot better place now once they gave him the essentially the Great Muta gimmick with the mist.
Yeah,
So
he's
and
on
I'm
a
a
little
huge
bit of an
Shinsuke
uptrend.
fan, so I guess that, yeah.
All right, on to McConnell Lamar. Hey, gents, congrats on the 1 year anniversary. The ensemble you've put together is awesome and just wonderfully enjoyable podcast. Thank you. Thanks for listening, McConnell. He's been around, I think, since the beginning.
Yes, he has.
Number 1, Silver Season is on the horizon. What are you hoping for from any changes, unbanning, etc.? We kind of already went over some of that stuff, but I would like to see the unbanning of the traffic barrel.
Well, and then Aaron, I'm pretty sure said that he's the ban and benchless is staying for this.
For Rock Cup, yeah.
Yeah, I think the
Rock
goal
Cup.
is only to make changes like right after Worlds with rotation, so there's like a uniform time for rotation. The only possibility is if there's like something stupid that's going to ruin Silver for Rock Cup, but I think it's going to pretty much stay as is for Rock Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ban juice. And Highlander. I want Highlander.
Would be nice.
So,
Yeah, that's my biggest want too from it, and that's what we already kind of talked about earlier.
As we learned from Duncan McLeod of the Clan McLeod, there can be only one. Make it Highlander.
All right, what have you enjoyed most about HeroClix podcasting, and what is the most challenging part? I think I like the obviously we talked about just us being able to get together once a week. As far as what I enjoy the most, I think just being able to kind of meet people that actually do listen to us when we go to events is really fun.
yes. Yeah.
Or even like if I do a trade with somebody and like, hey, you're on such and such. I really like you guys. Like just that simple stuff is like just so nice.
Yeah, stuff like that is really cool.
Yeah, it's just those little interactions. It's just like that's awesome.
I was standing.
sorry.
Yeah, I was standing at Worlds talking to Christine. We were in line for something. I thinking signing up for something. And when somebody literally turned around and goes, "Dude, you're Pete," and I'm like, because I'm not wearing I was just wearing like a wrestling t-shirt and a ball cap, which is my normal attire when I'm not at work. And I was just blown away, like completely blown away. And I was like, holy cow. And of course I joke. I said, do I owe you money or something, right? Like, and it just was so nice. Like everybody just immediately engaging with me and talking about the podcast and what they liked about it. And I was like, man, I'm sorry you guys listen to me once a week because seriously, there's nothing good coming out of my mouth. But the rest of the guys are great. So thank you for the support. So
Yeah, for sure. That's been the most challenging part for me is trying to talk about like pieces and like where it stands with the health of the game, and then with certain teams that I play, I know that I get a lot of flack for complaining about things that ignore the map and me playing plants. But there is a kind of a disconnect because if I'm going to say it's bad for the game, not once have I said that plants are healthy at all. But it's the lost in translation part where I try to critique the game and where I'd like to have it, and then I'm also trying to play competitively. And so you have to do certain things to play competitively, even if you don't like it, and even if you think it's bad for the game. There's just certain things that you have to do. to actually be competitively viable.
Like,
And it's not a hypocrisy.
No, it's
It's
competitive.
just that's
Like the rules are out at
it's
that point. You're gonna
I'm
do what you
consistent.
want to do.
I will say that I don't think plants are good for the game. I think it's very easy to be abused. I feel like I play plants the way it was intended, but I'm still not going to say plants are fine. So, yeah, just stuff lost in translation.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most challenging part.
Keeping up with Rubman's schedule. When he's yelling at me.
That's the most
Get on the-
challenging.
get
I
on-
was going to complain about that.
Get on the podcast. You're not on the podcast. Where have you been? And I'm like, dude, Redman, seriously, come on, man. Like we've done 76 hours in the last 2 days. And he's like, we need 77. Pete, dig deep.
Get on.
Dig deep, let's go.
Dan, what do you find to be the most challenging?
Just I guess trying to like conceptualize my thoughts in like a easy to digest manner in some instances, because like I'll have like an idea in my head, but making sure that I'm communicating that effectively where people understand me is probably the challenging part. Sometimes I feel like sometimes it's just like, what did you say?
I also have to routinely beat Miles to the punch with stuff because we are on a wavelength together.
Yes,
It's a wild wave to be riding.
it is.
I feel like,
It's like the EIC.
one of the more challenging things is trying to do something weekly and have people care about it. So finding like a topic that we can talk about, like we still managed to talk about it for 3+ hours, but I think that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, once the topic's there, you just turn us loose. We're fine.
Accurate.
Then his last one is, what events are you all planning to attend for the rest of the year? So next is Adepticon, which we're all going to, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And then June should be Origins. I'll be there.
I'll be at Rock Cup.
Origin.
Shut up, Miles. Pronounce it how I want to pronounce it.
I didn't realize I was going to be the only one going to Rock Cup, but I totally get it. So, and like, I don't even know if I can swing Origins. It all really depends on my work at that point, honestly, if I can swing it or not. Like, I want to, but that's just a lot.
Yeah, there's too much, I think, going on for us in May that I'll be able to do Rock Cup now. But
I wanted to do it for Aaron, so I wasn't going to back out on that after saying, like, yeah, I'll do it.
But then Origins and then probably Worlds is September, I'm assuming. And I'm hoping all of us go to that.
Try.
I'm planning on it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's that. July we have that CLIX camp coming up. I'm trying to solidify those. I should have that by mid next month to know the dates for that CLIX camp.
Yeah, I was talking to Matt about that too, because we have to talk about CLIX Mania still that we're trying to get into mid and late summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Worlds.
Yeah.
So Rock Cup I can't make. The weekend that it's going to be is during my daughter's 17th birthday, and so I try to make try not to miss any of their birthdays. So we're gonna do a family trip, and then
And then the rest of the seasons are usually pretty bare. I'll do I think Red, White, and CLIX is going to be November, and that's pretty close to us, so I'll be going to that again.
Yeah, that was a good event. I like that one. I'll definitely try to go to that.
All right.
we'll see if I'll be able to do that.
Then we got local Tri-Hood Ryan Bookwood. Can you do a film study and analyze the greatness of Samurai Cop? What are each of your top 3 favorite designs of any wrestling championship belt? I personally love the WWF championship from the late 90s until it was unified into the Undisputed Championship in 2002. The World Heavyweight Championship is another favorite of mine. Also, the late 90s Intercontinental belt looked really cool. I guess I'm an Attitude Era mark.
I guess he must have missed the last episode where Mork asked us this question.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Mine was I think it was only your top one, so I only have really one main one, and that's that Winged Eagle one that I thought was really cool. That I miss.
So now we're doing top 3. It's gonna be the West Hollywood Blondes. Is it Lenny Lane's Custom Cruiserweight Championship when he was teamed up with his brother/lover Lodi as the West Hollywood Blondes
Oh,
and WCW.
okay.
You don't remember that at all?
When?
Dude, I don't even know what that is.
It was like 99, 2000. They got canceled super quick. Like it got canceled super quick. But he would come out with like pigtails and lollipops. I'm trying to find it. He had tassels on his championship belt. It's a
Definitely not.
It sounds terrible.
It was only for a few weeks.
Sounds
It was
terrible.
pre-Billy and Chuck. No, it was amazing.
So what's your third one?
And then my third one is going to be, I mean, it's got to be the Brahma Bull belt.
That one looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Was that one ever? I've seen the pictures of it. That one was never like official though. Or no, it was the skull belt that was never official, right?
No, they were both official, but only for a little bit of time because as soon as he got the skull belt, The Rock threw it in the ocean, and then Austin did the same thing with his Brahma Bull belt.
Uh-huh.
As well as Intercontinental, yeah.
What's the deal with this Samurai Cop movie?
I have no idea.
Ah,
I haven't watched it.
it's one of the worst. It's one of the worst best movies of all time. I sent him. It was from the group chat. The greatest moment in movie history, and the greatest scene. He's never seen it, and so in fact, I hope that he hasn't seen this yet because this is something I would love to interview him off of not using cliX as a platform, but I want to get him. I want to hear like his his reactions to these shitty action movies that I have him watch.
I was, and I know people are going to hear this, but Vokood was a great interview.
I
Yeah,
think so, too.
he did well
Yeah.
for his first time on here.
Yeah. My 3 championship belts are obviously the WCW just gold with the nameplate. Love that one. I would go with the spinner Cena belt, like just iconic and super fun. And then probably the old school Intercontinental title with the different colored strap. That was really great.
The white strap?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. I like that a lot. And I do like when they let the wrestlers personalize stuff. I did really love Daniel Bryan's wooden belt.
Oh, I forgot about that. Was it the Eco Championship
Yeah.
or something like that?
Yeah.
That was so ugly. I forgot
that
about
was
that
awesome.
one.
And the rated R superstar, the Edges. Was
I like
actually
that
not
one,
bad
yeah.
At all either.
That was a spinner too, wasn't it?
Yes.
I feel
And then
like
it wasn't.
was.
It was originally a spinner, and then it wasn't.
Then he changed it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, going to
Yeah, I sent the clip.
Also, just honorable mention to the FTW title.
on
yeah.
AEW.
But he had an ECW first.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where it originated.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
All right, moving to Lou Minotti. Has Pete been reported missing yet? You kidnapped him a year ago, and you still have him prisoner.
I mean, he's got Stockholm syndrome. It's fine.
Nice reference, Daniel. I was about to say the same thing. Lou, it's Stockholm syndrome at this point, but thank you for caring about me.
What do you think about the return of print and play? Will this extend to other aspects of the game like bystanders? I think the biggest... What's that?
One can hope.
Well, isn't the big thing with the print and play thing now is like copyright issues? And so if he's talking about the fact that they announced that they're doing the print and play map to make up for the fact that the D&D Beholder map wasn't in there, it's something that they're personally designing, so it's their thing that they can do that with. But like
they can do whatever.
bystanders and everything like that, that's still Marvel or DC. So I don't think they can do the print and play because of that. I think it's a copyright thing.
I did like that was nice of them though to like acknowledge it as like, hey, we know this was an issue. We're sorry that and it was just nice because you don't really get to see behind the curtain that often, So it's like for them to just come out and be.
And
public
the
about
messed
it.
up part too is that everyone's like, "Oh, really? Of course, it has to be at these conventions," and it's like, Well, yeah, I mean that's usually how it works, and like, and it's always there. It's always negative. Like no one ever goes, "Oh, sweet, thanks for doing that." Like I don't know what they expect them to do. Do you if you order it on their site or something? I mean, it's just yeah. There's I think they're handling it a great way
Yeah, it's
by
way
making it
better
print and play.
and
I
acknowledging
think the
it.
biggest thing, yeah, that's the biggest thing is the visibility. Like just the fact that they're not. It's not like they're being secretive, but like honestly, like there's like contractual things that they just can't talk about, you know. So like, but them to just speak to it, I think is huge. So
Yeah.
We're gonna break some news here tonight. Coming to the WizKids shop soon is the WizKids 3D print and play. You got to buy it from them. You have to buy the plastic inserts from them, but you can print whatever you want from HeroClix history for $7.99 per item.
nice.
And if WizKids wants to do this, I just want my name to go somewhere on the idea.
That's not
And
gonna
I'm gonna
happen.
use the code DCLIX.
For 10% off.
You gotta use the code DCLIX to even have this item even shown.
All right, going to third question. Ryan, are your balls still attached coming up to Adepticon? Why were they not attached in the first place?
Well, you said you lost them before Champion Clicks.
I lost
So, I don't
them?
know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure his question from that like.
I said I washed them.
No, he said like, hold on, where's Lou?
What did...
Yeah. We all know Christine has them.
Oh, God damn it, Pete.
I mean, that's fair because like whenever I've been in a relationship, that's fair. Usually the woman runs the show. I don't disagree with that whatsoever. Let's see. Lou, where the heck was your question?
Did we get a goddamn it Pete before we got a goddamn it Miles?
I think so.
So Lou asked a couple weeks ago. Now that Ryan has got his balls back and remembers how to play HeroClix, will he continue to roll with it at Adepticon? So he's been consistent.
I
last couple
guess. All right, going to number 4. Miles, do you even remember how to actually play HeroClix? And not like the Pacific Northwest version of HeroClix. HeroClix.
I think so. I think the one thing that I don't know if I know how to do is roll dice, and so because I just pushed the button on roll 20, so I'm thinking about getting like those dice from Sorry and just pushing that.
You mean Trouble? Trouble? The Pop-O-Matic bubble?
For Trouble, yeah, yeah,
Oh.
the popping.
That's such a good
Yeah.
idea.
And I haven't heard anything about it being illegal, so I'm thinking about bringing it.
No, listen, if dice cups are legal, Pop-O-Matic bubble should absolutely be legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want 2 of them. I need one that's 2 dice, and I need one that's 1 dice.
Actually, why don't you throw that up on Anthony's question thread, that if we can use the Pop-O-Matic bubble dice.
Dude, it had such a satisfying
right
sound, too.
Oh, it was
every
great.
time. Yeah.
What group is it in?
The HeroClix
HeroClix
rules.
Oh, HeroClix rules. Okay.
And ask him if a hot dog's a sandwich.
God, no one cares
Yeah,
about
no,
hot dog
that's-
being a
you have to
sandwich.
do that.
All right, Dan.
Miles can help me out.
Dan, being
Yeah.
the most seasoned podcaster of the group, what advice would you hope the rest of the team would follow?
So, wow, he called me old in like a different sense.
That's
wild.
really weird. I don't know why he would do that.
Dan started podcasting at 3.
That's fair. Talented, I'll tell you. So the funny thing is, even if I wanted to give them advice to be like, hey, this is something we should do, Rebin wouldn't listen to me because he just doesn't do that.
I would pretend to
Unless-
listen to you, Dan.
Yes, exactly. There's the pretend part, and then I would get the good old backhanded compliment about it too.
Maybe a thumb up emoji.
Possibly. Miles is like, you'll turn him loose and just the whole like all bets are off. Like that's just how Miles is. Like I've learned that it's just you just gotta let him go. So it wouldn't even matter what I tell him because as soon as I let him go, he's just out there.
It's true. I'm like,
And then,
We don't have a Miles button. We have a dump. We don't have a dump button. We have a Miles button.
and then Pete.
it's I'm posting it right now with the picture. Since people can use dice cups, are Pop-O-Matic dice legal?
And then Pete would probably just forget. Honestly, he would probably just be like, "Wait, what did you say?" and that's how that would go.
Well, I guarantee you, if you gave me written instructions, I wouldn't read them.
That's
You could ask
exactly my
Ruben
point.
how
Yeah.
that goes.
And then when I would give you an instruction, you'd ask me to repeat it because you wouldn't have been listening the first time, or probably the second time either.
But if you put it in a meme, I'm all over those.
Yeah, exactly. So to answer your question, it wouldn't really matter, but this group is a lot of fun, so it's totally fine.
Yeah, the backhand that complements a
Yeah,
thing.
I just need to buy 2 of them. Yeah, I have to buy 2 of them. They look like they only come with 1 dice, so I buy 2 Pop-O-Matics. Okay.
Well, that's even better, because then you get to hear the same satisfying sound twice.
Well, and then you can just use one for all your single D6 rolls too. So that's perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I like it.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's make it happen.
Can we order these? I
It's
want 2 of
I'm
them.
bringing it.
Oh, and then
I
have
should
them
have eaten- I
built
should have
into a
eaten-
tray. That's the new Craftworks
Yeah.
Forge from Adam Shiver.
Yeah.
That's what we need is built-in Pop-O-Matic
Yeah.
bubbles. Oh my God, that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some good ideas here.
If he says no, Anthony's obviously gonna be listening to this too. We're gonna pitch it to him on why, because you don't have to worry about the dice rolling off the table. You don't have to worry about anything like that. You just roll the dice, and that's what it is. So they can't pick it up and say that's what it was.
Yeah.
And it has a
Dude.
very distinct sound, so you know if they rolled it more than once.
And can you imagine
I think
giving Adam, as talented as he is, an idea like this? This is awesome.
Yeah.
I think we need to
This
reach out
is-
here and make this happen.
Future.
To look up what these were because I did not know. Like I've played with these, but that was so long ago. I did not remember what those were.
Dan, it's literally a bubble. You push it, it pops.
No, I know. It was one of those where I just haven't seen it in like a good 15 years.
You'd like it because
Yeah,
it's
no.
loud. It's not as loud as your dice cup, but we could probably fix that.
Yeah,
It's like it just makes it that much better though, because they can't cheat, because you're like, dude, you pushed that twice, trust me, I know. It
Yeah.
went pop.
The only thing louder than the dice cup is a dice cup with metal dice. It sounds like a gunshot in our store sometimes.
All
At
right.
least I use plastic dice, not metal dice.
Going to Rob Peterson. If you got to make any Marvel or DC figure that had never been made before, who would you choose? What would they do? So for me, there's a lot of characters that have only been made once that I'd like to be seen made again, but specifically that has never been made. There's a really cool Araco character named Sobener, and he's kind of like a like this lizard guy, and he in his body just
he's awesome.
contains like a marine biological system. So just ways to heal your team and create water terrain, I think would be really cool. But he just looks really cool. I'm trying to think of the lizard that he kind of looks like.
It's the one. Oh, what's it called?
It's spelt really weird and everybody pronounces it wrong.
It starts with an X, I think, right, or something like
Oh,
that.
an oxalotl or something like that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like that.
So I think he
You
looks
can't
really cool.
say Ulysses, and you can't say Origins, but you can say Oxalotl.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's axolotl. Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's
Axolotl.
But yeah, basically
Axolotl.
that's what he looks like. Which is he's really cool looking, and he does like some really neat stuff in the sort.
Yeah, I would love to see him as a character.
I'm all for the like Araco people. So I give me more of those guys. Those guys are cool, really cool.
Evidently put a bunch of consonants in the start of the word. Revan's got it.
Yeah, he can't say vowels to save his life, but man, those consonants.
Whatever.
A character that has never really been clixed. That's there's 2 choices for me. There's Orca, but they said he's supposed to be getting it, so I'm waiting on that. Or Arabian Knight, who appeared in the early to, I think he had a few like modern appearances, but he has like a gold scimitar and a sweet magic carpet. His name's Abdul Quamar. It'd be amazing to see him.
What would they do?
What do you mean? So the flying carpet, we already see it +1 speed and flying, so you can give that something there. I think that, you can you'd make it like the cloak of levitation, I think would probably be better and closer to that. And then the sword is a magical sword, and so you're probably going to be looking at like some of the swords that give like exploit weakness, and then yeah, like extra damage if it's for a mystical character.
Okay. Dan, did you answer this one?
As far as like, can it still be like a variant of a character? I guess, or is it just? I guess that's what I was curious about. Is it actually like an original character that has never been made?
How far away? Because I think one of my other ones too would have been Marrow from like the '90s X-Men. Because I think she's
okay.
only gotten like a crazy Morlocks version of her, right? Or the other one maybe was just super super old.
I think so. She's like the
There's only been one. Has she ever been remade? I thought she only came out.
I know she's got a
from-
really ugly sculpt from like one of the Deadpool
Yeah.
sets.
That's really bad.
Oh, does she?
But she
Oh,
might have
yes, she
been in like
does.
one of the first sets as well.
She was. She was
More
in
with
Critical
the-
Mass.
Yeah,
That's one I remember.
and that's more of like the outfit that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess
didn't realize
she's
there was a newer
technically been
one.
made. Yeah.
As far as like, I guess a variant character that I would like to see made is Doctor Strange as the Herald of Lady Death. So during Doctor Strange's death, he basically passed the mantle to Clea by like binding a portion of his soul to her. So then she was able to take the title of Sorcerer Supreme. But then he died, and then Mistress Death appointed him as her herald, and he became the Harbinger. And so he had like a metal mask, like a like an upper mask almost, like made of gold, and he carried a scythe and stuff. Like he was literally like pretty close to like as Grim Reaper as you can get, and it was a really neat run. But as far as like original characters, probably the newer Blood Coven that came out with Blood Hunt, like they were wildly interesting characters, even if they were only for like a one series run for that event last year.
What would you say they would do?
There were a bunch of vampires that have superpowers, so like, they fed off of different things. Like one of them was good against magic, one of them was good against like technology, stuff like that. So like they all would. I feel like they'd all have like a counter type of power. Like, oh, if you're facing this, I get a nice little bonus type of thing. Or
Yeah, you could do a
if
lot
I
of
hit
fun
you-
stuff with that then.
Yeah, so
Yes. Yeah. I'm reading the Emily blog about you, Daniel. It is amazing.
oh my god, it's posted.
Yes.
Pete, what do you got?
So there's two versions of this character. So the one's been made. Phantom Girl was a Legion of Superheroes character when she started, but that it was Tina Wazo. So her descendant, who's actually from like more of the timeline proper, was Linya Wazo, and she was part of the Terrifics. I would love to have a group of Terrifics to play, like all in their white costumes and stuff. So she would have to have something like phasing, teleport, and transport, and like an ability to like kind of be like close damage energy explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Would be cool. So
All right.
it was hard to find someone that wasn't clixed, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's a lot more that have only gotten one that I would like to see re-clixed versus somebody that's never ever gotten clixed. All right, and then last we have Peter Marshfield. Wow, one full year of listening to these degenerates. The question is, who really got the short end of the stick? Pretty sure it's you guys and my incessant terrible TV show references. All right, comments below will include links and screenshots from builds. I swear they are public visibility, but Facebook regularly hates me. Curses turning 35 and hitting a midlife crisis. Actually, what is that even supposed to look like? All right, so he's got 4 teams here. What's that?
Oh, he's asking what that midlife crisis looks like, and I'm gonna tell you, it probably looks like one of these teams. We're about to find out.
It looks like the links are working, Peter. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, we actually can look at them today. So it looks like first one is a 400-point silver team. It has the 100-point Hadari Yao with the universal weapon, Juggernaut with the crimson gem, the Avengers, what is this, Empire Beast, the chase that turns off powers, or no, that lets you outwit.
Yeah.
With Captain Carter's shield.
Mm-hmm.
a 60-point Arachnite with Mjolnir, and the old Mjolnir, which is kind of neat to be able to do his flurry from range because he sees through characters, right? Yeah.
No, elevated.
No,
Sorry.
yeah, sorry, moves through characters. Sorry. And then 35-point Saturnine with the Sinestro Core Ring, and then sideline is Fortify, Pin Particles, Prime Absorbing Man, Firestorm, Gorilla Grodd, and Mimic. I think
I might as well add. He's got 2 more slots. Rivalry, with the amount of keywords that they have.
well, it's
he's
going to
already at
cost
the two-
points though. Yeah.
He's already at 200 to 200 modern, so he can't sneak any more.
Oh
in.
yeah.
Why Captain Carter's shield?
I feel like this is him just again. He tries to play both offense and defense at the same time, and I think that's why because the beast has defend. So if you're getting the extra bump because of the.
It's gonna be only 19 though.
Yeah,
It's just
no,
not
I know.
worth it.
No, I know.
Yeah, I think there's offensive threats and a little bit of a defense plan, but I don't think that it meshes that well together.
That beast is criminally underrated, though.
Yeah, he's great. Being
Yeah,
able
he's
to
good.
shut off stuff within range is great.
I feel like there's cheaper pieces though now, or pieces that do it better.
You got 3 really good attackers: Hadari, Yao, Juggernaut, and Arachnite.
Yeah, but they're
amazing.
all newer pieces that don't have as many, like as much range or speed and stuff like that. And your only real TK
Oh yeah,
is Saturnine then. And she doesn't have a whole lot of mobility. She's got a nice 8 range, but I don't think there's enough deployments.
I'd almost put it if I was gonna do.
No,
Saturday,
that's why you take off Carter's shield, and then you just give him two rings.
Yeah.
I think that's a better use of him.
Yeah.
Give him 2 rings and make him more of a utility piece.
Mm-hmm. And then Saturday night, I would put the cloak on her versus the Sinestro Core Ring just to give her the mobility and allow her to like carry somebody after TKing. Like even if it's only sidestep, it's still something.
Yeah, that's what I used to have on her. I love that on her.
If you're gonna do the ring, I would actually go with the Indigo ring.
That's also good, yeah.
But that's probably his only perplex then, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's got good values. Like I don't know if he necessarily needs perplex. I think he's.
This is silver.
I guess that's fair. I don't know.
I feel like that's not as big of a deal right now in the current modern, but when you start going to silver and you're doing just like what he's doing here at the Captain Carter Shield, emotional modifier and porters and things like that, there's things that are going to get out of hand.
Yeah,
You just you take Carter's shield off, you put the Sinestro Core ring on the beast, and then you put something else for the cloak on Saturnine.
And keep in mind too, then there's no barrier to protect. And how much is he able to carry? A beast probably has flight, right?
Yeah, he does. And
Beast has flight, Yao has flight.
Yeah, so it's only 2 though. So.
Yeah.
And he's only got the 1 leader in Yao. Like she's great, don't get me wrong, but that's his only leader.
I feel like this is a 3-2 team where you would have to score a ton of points and be aggressive every time.
And not for nothing, but you only have 5 figures. So Yao, as soon as someone dies, she's just eating that full damage.
That's another good point too. Yeah, I feel like there's too many just like good attackers, but not enough of a plan.
I mean, I like it. It's really aggressive. Don't get me wrong, but it's more like you'd be stringing out one of your pieces basically to get them out there, and then the rest of your team is trying to come up, and that's when you get picked apart one by one. It feels like.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, five figures in 400-point silver is a risky play as well. Anyway, not even just because of the Hadari Yao. All right, going to his second one. This is a pass theme. So this is Ulysses Bloodstone with the Bloodstone, Zala Jarrell with the Crimson Gem, the Pegasus Captain America with the Longsword, Reverse Flash with the Glider, Harley Quinn with the Trick Arrows, the Bardley Quinn, and then Perdegaton and 2 Time Breakers.
And Rivalry Fortify. Yep.
Yeah. If we're going silver, I still like paying the points for Stormbreaker, or not Stormbreaker. What's the X of Swords sword that lets you attack again?
Modern.
This is modern.
Oh,
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
This is modern though.
I would never play Zala Jor-El.
Really?
No, because you have to hit for the alpha.
Yeah, but she's probably gonna hit because she's got good keywords. She's got rivalry, and she turns off shape change and mastermind when she attacks. So
So you're throwing across and using rivalry right away. Sure, that I guess that makes sense. But I mean, I would have to throw rivalry right away. Revin, you agree, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
you're
not high
building
up
into
on
this
her. No.
just to get pants by missing your alpha.
Right.
But yeah, we have someone that's won multiple events with Zala on past. So
and she's great. And the crimson or the crimson gem only makes her better because she's basically unavoidable. She's got flight. She sees through hindering, and now she's going through walls if you don't have the barrel. So
I think that it's just
Let
not.
me be perfectly clear. Reverse flash of the glider is a great idea. It's amazing.
I'm curious what you give him. I'm assuming it's like the blades and willpower plus flight.
Precision strike and combat reflexes.
Precision.
I guess
He's got precision strike the first half of his dial.
it's fine. I don't care. No, I was talking with John about this because he was talking about wanting to give him the glider, and I was talking with him. I told him that you give him precision strike because after his first 3 clicks, he's really not great.
Yeah, that's fair.
And he also gets combat reflexes, so he's gonna be in their face. So this way, he at least stays a threat his entire dial because he's not gonna have precision strike his entire dial, and it'll be a 19 defense minimum, reaching a 19 or 20 to 19.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, 12 speed moving through clicks is wild.
But going back to Zalia, I don't like pieces that are dependent on like that hit and you just end up leaving them there. There's too many times that just goes wrong.
So this is kind of where we talk about like how does your team lose? So you come out, you throw your alpha, you miss with Zala Jor-El, Captain America's just sitting back there. Like if you pull it off, it's amazing. But if you don't, then you're like, well, hope Harley Quinn can pulse wave everybody 19 times.
But yeah, I do like the trick arrows in Harley Quinn, and the glider on reverse flashes is neat. I haven't seen that before. He still
You do
has
have a little more movement with the time breakers, though.
That's true. Actually, that's big. And starting with 2 instead.
I mean, he's got tons of mobility. 'Cause you got TK with Degaton plus time breakers plus you can like Zala can just get there on her own basically. So I mean, I don't see a problem with this generally, but that's just me.
I think this has I like this one a lot better than the silver team we just looked at. I think this one stands up a little bit better. Oh, we missed the traffic barrel too. Nice addition, Peter. All right, going to the third one. This is an updated detective build, but there's no detective on this one. So this one is back to silver then. So this is, again, 100-point Hadari Yao with the universal weapon. Now it has Hawkeye and Hawkeye with the power gem. World's Finest with the utility belts. Misty Knight from AV60 with the spin ring. The Prime Batman from Batman Team Up with the time gem. And then the white shirt Scott Porter with Sinestro Core Ring and Commissioner with the Darkhold. This one I'm liking. Who's he using? Is this the? Oh, this isn't even the Misty that. Yeah, it is. That gives the detective keyword. So who's he putting on there? Oh, Hadari Yao.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one has a better balance,
offensive.
but it has a better
Yeah, it's
balance
really
too.
Yeah, and that Batman is really great.
The Prime, yeah.
Yeah, he really likes the time gem.
I mean, +1 range and prob is. I'd never see that as a bad thing.
I guess the only thing with that though is I don't know if I'm paying 10 points instead of giving him the green ring for free. Having those constructs is just way too big, and being able to generate them for free.
Yeah, it's almost better to give World's Finest probably the Arc Arms for that 10 points, and then you give both the utility belt and the ring, because you want Batman to make the smoke clouds.
Yeah.
Because that way it stops them. And so you're going to sit at 10 points. You're going to do the power gem, which power gem's on Hawkeye and Hawkeye. So if you give Flurry to World's Finest, then also
I like
Giant
that.
Reach.
I like that.
That's better.
Like World's Finest isn't scary enough as it is.
Yeah, because Batman needs that the utility belt and the green ring are just too good on Batman.
It plays
Exactly.
into what he does. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I get
Is
that.
is the power gem on Hawkeye and Hawkeye really better than giving them arrows for free?
He can't. He doesn't get arrows for free.
Oh
They
my
came
God, I
out.
always forget
Yeah,
that.
they came
Yeah,
out
I
before
always
Marksman.
forget that. Okay, yeah.
But I mean, they're still really good with the arrows, but
Yeah, but he can't make the points work. This is really a pretty good team.
Yeah.
I would make the same changes. Move the utility belt down, green ring and utility belt on Batman. And then yeah, the Ock arms on World's Finest. Oh God. Oof. Harris, I hope you're not listening.
oh, he always is. Don't you know?
I'm not sure if you can change this at all. I like the Nightbringer and Spin Ring on Commissioner, but I don't think the points would work because you'd have to move Darkhold to Misty Knight, and then you're still down 5 points. But Commissioner getting stealth and being able to make 2 free smoke clouds and then be able to put Rookie in there who has the Batman team ability is really strong. But yeah, this one looks good too. I like this version better than the first one that we saw, right?
Yeah, this is better. This silver team is potentially going 4-1. I mean, potentially 5-1, 5-0. I mean, realistically in Swiss, like this is just a well-built team. We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then last bonus team because I have a problem with building teams and not enough time to play them.
This is a Pete team for sure.
Pete, do you want to read this one?
Doom's World. You just live in it. Latveria theme. It's looks silver. It is silver. Doom the Annihilating Conqueror. Carnage Silver Surfer with the Avatar of Khonshu for free. Diana with the Hell Cycle. The Tyrant with the Crimson Gem. That's an interesting choice. Kraglin with Captain Carter's Shield. Pegcap with the Power Gem. Collector from Disney Plus with the Spin Ring and a Timebreaker. And then on the sideline, he has Power Gem, Fortify, Absorbing Man. All caps, Doom. Doom the Sorcerer Supreme, which very fun piece. Gorilla Grodd, Khonshu, and Mimic. The maps, you automatically have to put the Latveria on the Latveria theme. The ability to get the Mastermind fodder is huge.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Is he getting what bonus is he getting with Collector? All of them, I would assume. Or is he missing? No, he's not because he doesn't have it in common.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
He's just going for damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got all he's basically got all chases, so it's like he's just getting the damage, which is fine.
If you get rid of the Spin Ring, do you have any other TK? Not really.
Just the placement with Timebreaker.
You just have Timebreaker placement, yeah.
So you kind of have to leave that.
And he's got Diana with the Hell Cycle for Pegasus Cap.
Or just anybody. I mean, that's just you can bring most people over because she's going to be Latveria, so you can.
You don't put. I see. You're once again the same thing with the first team. The problem is if you go on offense and defense, that Carter Shield is a waste. If you really want to you give Kraglin the free arrows.
Does he get arrows for free? He's only a vehicle cosmic.
The Yaka arrow.
Oh, the Yaka arrow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
not bad,
did
but
not-
Captain Carter's shield on him isn't terrible, giving everyone adjacent at 20.
Yeah,
I mean-
but I don't like the turtle team, especially because he's not going all in on it with a Kale or Murder, stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, I guess
banking on not
it's
getting
not
hit.
focused enough to pull it off. Yeah, is that what you mean?
Yeah, because like with Kale and everything, like you're gonna be like, no, you can't be modified. Or like if you want to do a Latveria theme again, like there's Demon and Armor to where they can't modify or replace their attack, which is even better. And yeah, so like that's where and 19 doesn't seem hard to hit until you realize you can't replace or modify your attack.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's your 50 points right there. You take Kraglin off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you're getting Diana across. You're automatically bringing something else with her. You got Pegcap, who's a great attacker. You got Carnage Silver Surfer, who's a great attacker. Depending on which Doom you bring in, probably triple arm Doom most of the time to help limit things for the other team.
Honestly, I don't mind the Crimson Gem on Sky Tyrant. Giving him super strength and the ability to just blow through blocking terrain.
And to stop him from being mind controlled.
Yeah.
That's really underrated with Sky Tyrant, because one of the tricks to dealing with him is you mind control him and watch him tear up somebody else's team and
now
then move him where you want.
And now with Serpent Crown, now he can't flurry your team either. I guess Colossus still gets through it and KOs him with one hit, but
Still though, that's just nasty.
yeah, no, I like it on him. That's a neat one. All right, anything else?
I like it. I like Latveria teams. I mean, I think this is a reasonable thing to do. The sideline usage, I think you could probably get rid of Garrod and give yourself another option for a Doom. Like the Prisoner of Planet Doom's always really good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Prisoner's another good one.
Is he maxed on? Why is the power gem on the sideline? Oh, that's
it's
the
card.
yeah.
One shot. I thought about that too at first, like, wait a second, what? And I'm like, oh, it's the other one.
He has 20 more modern points. So,
But he's at 400 to 400 is the thing.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Kraglin doesn't need to be there, really, and that's about it.
Power gem on Peg Cap and not Skybreaker though.
No, Sky. Oh wait, I think Skybreaker on him.
Well, you have to perplex up his range to even get use out of Skybreaker, because he has 0 range.
No,
Captain
Cap has
America?
4.
Oh, Pegasus, yeah. Yeah, the only thing too that would help him is Kraglin actually does help Cap, but you don't have the group pog to really make use out of it. I think that's where you get Kraglin greatness too. I think if you're just using him as a defend piece, it's just not good.
What about Ormioner on Captain America?
Good too.
That's right. Yeah.
I just like being able to make the second attack with him.
Yeah, I agree.
But him
If you're
flying
gonna go
in
into heavy attack, that's a way to do it.
him flying in and doing 12 for 5 isn't terrible either. So, but yeah, I like the second attack with Skybreaker.
I like it, Peter. Put it on the table.
Yeah, try it out.
All right, let's wrap up this 1 year celebration episode. Any final thoughts, Miles?
It's been a fun year, and I look forward to seeing what the future lies. So once all this life stuff starts calming down and getting back to normal, like I hope to actually start making more videos, because like not being able to make Tide to Tide really sucked. Like I had plans and just everything just fell through with life. So
It's been a while.
no.
Dan?
This has been amazing for the first year, and I'm really excited to see where it goes this next coming year. So
Yeah, definitely.
as far as this week, I am big tired.
This was a big week to put this one together. Pete, what do you have?
I'm anxious to see the final count on this after you edit it.
It's going to be a long one. Just remember, there is a pause button.
I do want to say a very hearty thank you to the community for supporting this. This started as just, us wanting to do something and having fun, and everything that you guys, as the listeners, contribute is awesome. And you guys definitely are a huge part of the podcast. And I want to say to my fellow degenerates, thank you. It's been a blast.
Absolutely. Christine, Oliver, and I did record a Champion Clix Open event recap video that is up on YouTube. So please check that out if you have some time, and let us know if that's something that we should continue doing. And then Adepticon is next weekend. Our entire time will be in attendance, so I'm incredibly excited for that. I'll be there Thursday through Sunday, so looking forward to seeing everyone else that will be in attendance there as well. And I just want to say thanks so much for everyone that listens to us each week, whether you started a year ago or just last week. A big thank you from all of us. So thanks for listening.
Or even this week. Thank you.
Or yes, if you just started listening this week. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya!
Click it!